What is up and what is going on, fellow Pantheon streamers? Appreciate every single one of you guys being here this evening. We are going to jump into some hot topics and talk about some things that are going on within the nerdy fandom world that we all live in. One of the things that got talked about or got added to the list was this, obviously, Black Panther news. Black Panther is going to be very hot for the next foreseeable months, I'm sure, because, well, yeah. So we're going to get into that, what Warren had to say, what My Time to Shine had to say, and get into some of those things. We have a guest with us tonight, so of course, we'll go with Pam. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
5-hour live streamer, Pam Entertainment TV. that's the reason you got the invite. We want the skinny on Justin Baldoni.
Okay.
I didn't know who this guy was until a week ago, and there's like a history here with Blake Lively and him.
It's a deep pile of mess.
It's a deep dive of mess. And I just came off a 5-hour live stream. He has filed a 179-page lawsuit for defamation against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Stephanie Jones and Stephanie Jones's PR firm. I will tell you what I am learning about this is the fact that these PR firms are cutthroats. So let me get you all back. I'm going to start from the beginning and get you all up to speed. So back in 2023, they started production on a film called It Ends With Us. Now, this film is a film written by Colleen Holland, and it deals with a woman who is going through relationships, and there's some domestic violence and all some other stuff in there. I have not seen the movie. I'm just telling you what I heard about that movie. So she had requested, now Justin Baldoni, so you all can understand, owns the option or the rights to be able to make a film of her books. 2 books that she has. It Ends With Us and It Begins With Us, I think, is the name of the 2 books. So he bought the rights for that, his company Wayfarer. So he has been working with Colleen since like 2019 to get this movie into fruition. And Colleen had stated that she wanted Blake Lively, possibly when they asked her who did she want to play the role of, I can't remember what the girl's name is, but play the lead lady role. She mentioned Blake Lively. Now, caveat, on many different film productions, everyone has had an issue or a problem with Blake Lively. But they knew that coming in, that there was some issues with Blake Lively. So Justin Baldoni, now if you don't know who he is, he played on Jane the Virgin, I think is the name of the movie, the television series. And he is supposed to be known as a softer man. You know, he wants to be, you know, how you have, you know, he's very into women's issues and all of this other stuff. And that's going to lead into Deadpool and stuff like that when we continue. So anyway, they start the production of this movie. It ends with us. Very early on, Blake does whatever she needs to do to try to get her foothold into taking over the movie. Now, also, you need to understand that during that time, that's when the Writers Guild had gone on strike, and that's when the Screen Actors Guild, SAG, had gone on strike. So they had started maybe a week and a half of production into the movie, and then it got cut off because of the strikes. Well, in this week and a half, there were some things that were going on. And this is where I feel that Justin Baldoni made the problem, because of the fact that he's an easygoing type of guy, and everybody knows that. She was able to convince him to do little things. One of the little things that she convinced him to do was, you know, I just feel like the character Lily, she liked the wardrobe. So she decided and did some kind of way that she finagled herself where she took over the wardrobe department of there. Well, as they were filming the film, some of the shots got out to the public, and the women who had watched the movie, they were very upset with some of the wardrobe choices. And so Sony had sent a letter down to the movie cast. Hey, look, we're getting some bad press because of the outfits. What's going on? I thought y'all had the outfits, you know, in line.
Just to be clear, the outfits were like skimpy?
The outfits, according to what I understand, the outfits were what Blake Lively would wear, not the character. So it would be like Blake Lively would have $5,000 shoes, and the outfits would be costing a lot of money. But the character, who was a new business owner, wouldn't necessarily wear that. But Blake, it turned out that Blake was making the movie about her, not necessarily about the character. Because, side note, she never read the book, so she doesn't know what's going on with the character and what the character wants.
This is a Hollywood industry
Not a fan
problem.
of that. Yeah, not a fan of that.
So she doesn't know what the character wants or doesn't want. But anyway, as we continue, there were several steps. And again, to me, this is Justin Baldoni's fault. That once he let her in on that, she started creeping in other different things. She convinced him via text that she has all these ideas of stories for the character, and that she had been on other productions, and she had talked to the director and the writers, and she would give them ideas, but they would never give her any type of credit or anything like that. And she had some ideas, so he was like, "Well, tell me what your ideas are, and let me see them." Biggest mistake. She gives him the idea because there's this rooftop scene, and I want you all to keep that into your psyche as I'm keeping on. There's this rooftop scene, and so she gives him the treatment for the rooftop scene. He gets the treatment for the rooftop scene. He looks at it and he's like, "Well, it's not exactly what the character would do, because this particular scene apparently is pivotal in the book, and it doesn't match what's going on in the book." But she is so happy about this rooftop scene. So he decides to take a meeting with her. She wants to take a meeting with somebody. His dumb behind goes over to the house of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And so when they go to that house, Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively are there. And they're basically like kind of tag teaming him about, did you read the scene? What did you think about the scene? I think it's something that you need to coordinate in the scene. Da 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 this, da 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 that. All of these little different things. So
They were trying to pressure him.
yes, he felt very pressured about this rooftop scene, and so he ended up. They ended up amalgamating what she had and what they had. Well, once that foothold came in, all of a sudden, every scene, because they had the way their budget was, they had $20 million and they had everything lined up. For every scene that was going on that she's in, she kept stopping the production because she wanted to rewrite this scene and rewrite some of her coworkers' scenes and do all of these other different things. And he was acquiescing to a lot of these different things, right? So then the strike happens, right? So when the strike happens, he's taking some of the films that he has done and he is trying to edit it and piece it together. So there's a new thing that I learned today called the dailies, and that is all the footage that they had done. She wanted to get a copy of it. Well, industry standards say the only people that get the dailies are the directors, the editors. And so she asked for it in the text. He runs it by his company, and they're like, "No, don't do that. Don't do that." Does Justin Baldoni listen to his company? No. He gives her this like amalgamation of stuff. It's not actually the dailies, but it's just some kind of big coordinated thing that he lets her see because she asked for it. And then she was like, "Well, I know I can't get the dailies, but can you kind of show me what you've already edited?" And everybody's telling this man no, but he does it anyway. He gives her like the final thing. He says, "I can't give you the dailies, but I'll just give you a little snippet of what I'm working with, 2 or 3 minutes or whatever it was that he was working with." She does that. You don't hear from them until November 2023. In November 2023, her attorney sends him a letter and states that there's this 17-point return to production letter that has to be adhere to before Blake Lively will come back, because she's threatening not to come back to the production. And so everybody is taken aback about what's going on. Well, here's what's going on. She got the information because she's wanting to take over this. My understanding is she wants to take over this production, but she knows that Justin Baldoni has the rights to it. So what she did was they had 2 weeks of production. They did a little stuff. He's trying to piece all that together. He, dumb as he was, he gives her some of that information. She sees the stuff. She doesn't like how she looks in the stuff because she's having some kind of issues. She's having some some body dysmorphic issues because she had just had a baby and all this other stuff, and there's supposed to be some nude scenes and all of these different things. And I think that they filmed a partially nude scene or something like that. She doesn't like what she sees, so she says that Justin Baldoni, James Heath, who owned the Wayfarer production company, have sexually harassed her, have body shamed her, and all of these other stuff. And she's not coming back to the production until these 17 points have been made. And it's a whole list of different things about, she wants an intimacy coordinator. She wants to.
That's not ridiculous. That's actually that's a smart ask. I want an intimacy coordinator. That's not very
that's not very hard, but there was already an intimacy coordinator there. So she did none of those things. There was a couple of things, probably about out of those 17 things, 10 of the things weren't a problem because they were already in place. So then we get to one of the points where she says, well, I feel like I'm going to be retaliated against because I have this thing. So I want to be able to have final say on everything. So I will feel like nothing that I'm going to be retaliated against. So because Sony is like, I'm not giving you, and this is me paraphrasing, I'm not giving y'all any more money. So y'all need to figure out what y'all need to do to keep her there. So they acquiesce to this 17-point list. So what we find in the 17-point list, he has basically given pretty much all authority of all these other different things to Blake Lively. So this is how Blake Lively is able to take over the film. Okay, so let's get to Ryan Reynolds and all of them. So I told you first that she had written this little treatment for being on the rooftop. So they have to have a meeting before they go back to production. Well, they have a meeting at Ryan and Blake's home once again. And so this time, this meeting there's a Sony representative, they're the producers, and also one of those asks that's outside of industry standards is that she wanted her own producer to be on there and to oversee what's going on. And also she wanted a representative on the set, which is not bad.
Somebody remind me what blockbuster Blake Lively was in. It was like Gossip Girl, right? And that's it. Like why are we bending over for Blake? Ryan Reynolds is swinging a big stick in Hollywood right now, y'all.
Yes, he is. And that's a whole and yes, he is. Okay. So when they go to the home, they're thinking they're getting ready to go over production notes and get everything done. Well, Ryan Reynolds cusses him completely, Baldoni, out because he says that, how dare you ask how much my wife weighs? Now, here is the thing here it is. Oh. There was a scene where Blake Lively is to be lifted. Justin Baldoni has a bad back. And so he's training with this trainer that Blake Lively has put on the set. He tells the trainer, well, if we're going to train for me to do this and to do this with the lowest, whatever impact, whatever, so he won't be caused injury, well, let me know how much weight I'm supposed to deal with. How much does she weigh, or what's approximate how much weight? So we'll know, and then we can coordinate how I'm supposed to do.
You think Ryan knew that? You think when Blake was telling Ryan,
he didn't ask her. He was talking to the trainer. The trainer bebops his tail over to them and says, and he called you fat. He asked about how much you weigh. And so when they get to this meeting, Ryan Reynolds goes off. And he went off so bad that the other people at the meeting was like, if I knew that this was going to be like this, we wouldn't have, I would have stopped him, but I couldn't understand. And so there's Justin Baldoni, acquisition. He's telling him, and you make sure you apologize for calling her fat, and also apologize for everything in that 17-point thing that you did, because you did all those things. He didn't do any of those things. But he was stupid enough to acquiesce to some of the stuff. So now he's stuck in this situation where he has all these problems. So where does the PR team come in this? So Justin realizes that because he knows how powerful Ryan Reynolds is in he's a top A-list actor. He knows how he's powerful in doing some other things. So he's like, I need to protect myself because his company signed off this 17-point thing. So he's like, if I sneeze wrong, she's going to say it's retaliation and going to say that I've done something that I haven't done. So he hired a crisis management PR team for himself to kind of help himself out. If anything gets in the press or anything happens, he has somebody to be able to work on that, right? Okay. So he hired Stephanie Jones. Now, Stephanie Jones owns this crisis PR firm. She hires this young lady named Jennifer Abel. So she's out there doing what she does and works whatever stuff that she does. Okay. Now, there's already the bad press that's already out there about the outfits and how the public didn't like the outfits and Sony wanted that taken care of. Okay. So that bad press on Blake is already out there. So as the production goes on, Justin has lost his right to. He can't direct it like he wants to. He can't edit like he wants to, and even to the point that she had him. Now he's credited and listed as the director. And I don't know if you saw the Golden Globes where one of the directors on there says that the director has the if there's a tie between one director and another director, the director credit has the authority for the final cut. And so that was a dig at Blake Lively then. But anyway, he was kicked out of the editing bay of his own movie. And so the whole cuts and everything like that, all the little different things, most of it, he had pretty much a lot of his stuff, but some of the stuff was what she wanted was done. Okay. So we get to the press, they finish the movie, everything is done. We get to the press and stuff for the movie. Blake Lively goes out there. Now, remember, she has not read the book. She don't know anything about the book. She doesn't know anything like that. So when they ask her questions, she starts talking about, well, Ryan and I do this and we're this way and all of this other stuff. She's talking about everything else but the book. She's talking about her liquor line. She's talking about her beauty products and all things. And she's hawking these types of stuff. Now, mind you, she has convinced Sony to ban Justin from his own premiere. And so she's up there. They are in two separate movie theaters in the same movie complex. And they're doing all of these movies. Now, how does Deadpool and all of this happen? Okay. You remember I talked about the rooftop scene, and she says that, she wrote the rooftop scene and they put the information in for the rooftop team. She talks one thing about Blake Lively, because she likes to be more important than what she is. She'll dry snitch. So she dry snitched on her husband, who has nothing to do with the production, and says, well, I don't know if you all know this, but you all know this now, that my husband, Ryan, he wrote the rooftop scene.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Now, this is in August. Now, we finished the production. This is during the premiere. So then Sony writes and says, wait a minute, hold up. Ryan Reynolds has not been credited on anything on this movie. What do you mean that he wrote this rooftop scene? And then there's other bad press because she is the way that she has a very sarcastic kind of hoity-toity type about her, and it doesn't blend well with the thing. So if you were like Chill, if you were interviewing me and you said, oh, isn't it wonderful that the sky is blue? She'll say, blue. It could be green. Either way, it'd still be beautiful. Why would you worry about being blue? That kind of hoity-toityness to me. So now Sony is trying to figure out what in the world is going on with this Ryan Reynolds in this movie, writing things that he has not been credited for. There's no contract with him to be writing for. He shouldn't have anything involvement, but she dry snitched. She also, because she had taken over the production, she made them write her a letter so that she can get that PGA credit behind the producer. She had them to do all of that. Now, while they're on this press tour, she's getting all kinds of bad press. Folks are talking about how they don't like the way that she walks. They don't like the way that she talks. They don't like the way that she dressed. They don't like any of the stuff that's going on. So she's getting all of this bad press. So somewhere in between December, somewhere in there, she asked them, or she sent them a letter saying, hey, you all need to make sure or apologize for this bad press. I know that you all are doing some kind of bad PR or something like that. And they're like, this is natural. We're not doing anything. Your press team and everything like that, they're not advising you correctly because you're out here. People don't like you because they don't like you, not because someone is doing a campaign against you. So in December, she files a complaint with the Civil Rights Department in California. And then she puts out this 30-point thing that she said that they refused to sign and they wouldn't go over anything like that. She says that she was being sexually harassed. She had been bullied. They had been fat shaming her. They had been doing all of these different things. And so he's like, then there was an article. Now, all this time that happened, right before that happened, an article came out about the New York Times talking about how a Hollywood smear campaign can ruin a person's image. And so that came out. So when that came out, she what is the word? I've been up too long. She took back the civil rights complaint. She stopped that, and then she turned around and she sued him for harassment in New York City. He turns around and then he sues her. He sues the New York Times for defamation and libel. He's saying that all the information that they got for their article was one-sided, and it came from this civil rights report that's supposed to be confidential. They got all their information from this civil rights, and it was inaccurate because she was cherry picking the stuff that she wanted them to see to further her narrative that there was going to be this smear campaign against her. So he sued them. Now, in regards to Deadpool, apparently Nice Pool. Now, y'all let me know, is Nice Pool a variant in any comics or anything like that?
Nope.
They're saying that Nice Pool is supposed to be a mockery of Justin Baldoni. Here's why they say that: because of the hair bun. There was a line in there that said that they talked about the intimacy coordinator somewhere in there, and that was a big issue about them earlier, about an intimacy coordinator, which was the studio had provided an intimacy coordinator, but Blake Lively would never meet with the intimacy coordinator. They also understand that Nice Pool didn't have the regenerative powers, and Blake Lively was the voice of Lady Pool. Yes, and so they ended up the little dog is supposed to represent the production of it ends with us. So, because you remember how Deadpool was like, if I need for you to give me this dog, if you want me to have this, it's some little mess in there that I remember that he was doing.
Yeah, he was like trying to take the dog and he was trying to show back up and get it. He was like, no, the dog belongs to me. So they're trying to say that was the movie.
That was the movie, because they had offered him some money to take over the rights to be able to take over the rights for the movie. And that was supposed to symbolize that kind of interaction. And then
Sony offered it to Ryan Reynolds?
No, Ryan Reynolds offered Justin Baldoni some money, to get the rights of it, because Justin Baldoni owns the rights to that.
Got it. Okay.
And so at the end of this little thing, when Nice Pool gets killed, it's Lady Pool that does the shooting or whatever doing the shooting. And they're saying that all of that is supposed to be emblematic or symbolic of that. And Ryan Reynolds was the one that wrote up some of those scenes. So Justin Baldoni has done a letter to Marvel.
He'll never win this.
Is it illegal to do that, to mock someone in a parody? Like, what is he suing for? Just the humiliation of it, or?
He's wanting to know, from what I understand, from what I've read, he's wanting to know if who wrote that particular scene, why was the things that he represents, because apparently Justin Baldoni has a podcast, and some of the information or some of the lines that were spoken in that particular thing, he has spoken he has spoken somewhere in his podcast about how he recognizes himself to be a feminine, and then that little line where he says, Lady Pool just had a baby and she's beauty, she's banging. And you remember how Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, says you're not supposed to say something like that. He's saying that all those things was there to be able to mock him in this big blockbuster movie.
I don't think he wins that unless I missed it. Did he say how he's able to prove that they are specifically talking about him? If not,
he's not.
Then
that's
how
why
does
he
that
wants
hold up in a court?
I don't know. That's why he wants Marvel to hold the evidence, or hold the writing notes, and hold all of these little different things. And he wants to be able to talk to all those writers, I guess, in the writing room to see if his information or his thing come up. So he's fishing. So that's how Marvel got caught up in all of this. And so now he's suing. He just came out yesterday. He's suing Blake Lively. He's suing Ryan Reynolds. He's suing Stephanie Jones and Stephanie Jones's company. No, not Stephanie Jones. Excuse me. This lady named Sloan and her company Vision, because he's saying that they defamed him.
Whew. Do Drake and yeah, that was a lot. Thank you. Appreciate you. Does Drake and Baldoni have the same lawyer? Like
the
these
petition
are so similar. We're gonna file a petition for some discovery. Hold on to the evidence. Don't shred it, and then we're gonna rescind that, and then we're gonna file a lawsuit in federal court. It's like they got the same pattern. They work in these cases the exact same way almost.
I actually hate everybody involved right now. Justin Baldoni for being a wuss and always guessing. And then here you go, magnifying your insult. Like, nobody needed to know that.
I had no clue. Yeah. I had no clue. You explained. Not only did you explain that it was you, but now I know all the specific points of why they feel like you are all your shortcomings. You know what I mean? Like every little point that you had to explain out in a court of law to actually let the nation know that they were talking about you. You could have just hit in the corner, bro. Wouldn't have said nothing.
100%. Michael Nemo chimed in with a $5 super chat.
I know you need it. Want you to receive it.
Slow down, Kawhi. Don't get hurt again.
Amber Heard is McDonald's. Listen, this isn't exactly Amber Heard, Johnny Depp territory. I don't want to give her the mini McDonald's a status.
No,
Blake
it's not.
Lively is Burger King. Amber Heard is Rally's.
Because my opinion, with all of that stuff happening on set, and see, I can be petty as I want to be, but they could have let Blake Lively walk and hired Scarlett Johansson. Now that would have been funny. Scarlett Johansson used to be married to Ryan Reynolds'
ex. Yes, that would have been hilarious.
It used to be okay, look. She lives in a home with Ryan Reynolds, who's very involved in a producer capacity with the Deadpool franchise. So when she goes home, he's probably telling her about how you can control the movie. You're the actor, you're the lead, and you can do this and that. But not every production is like that. Marvel,
not Gossip Girl.
It's like, you're not that Gossip.
Somebody better take that from her.
You're not on season 5 of Gossip Girl. You're on one movie. Like, Sony, and Sony doesn't care.
But then on Baldoni's side, it kind of reminds me about something that we said about that streamer situation with Fabio Foreign and Lil TJ. It's like you set the stage for how people are going to treat you. So that day that they invited you over the first time to Lively and Reynolds' house, and they had Hugh Jackman, they had Taylor Swift there. Well, they're obviously not involved in anything we got going on. So I don't know why they're talking to me. That should have let you know right then and there how they were trying to handle you. Okay. And again, to continue to bend over time after time. Oh, we're going to try to take the production away from you. Oh, you are not allowed to show up to the same premiere that we're showing up to. And every step of the way, you're only just now getting to the point where you're trying to fight back. It's too late. It's too late. Now, everything that you're doing is only causing you more damage.
Yeah, because once you sign that 17, once him and that company signed that 17-point thing, and there was that little clause in there about she gets to have say about all of these little different things. You had basically given her carte blanche to run the thing by at that point, so you're just sitting back letting this movie, and then he's trying to fall into. I have no issue and problem with you being a nice and kind person. My problem is nice and kind does not translate well in business. You've got to do what you have to do when you have to do it and how you have to do it. There should have never been when you all were because there was this initial text that she sent him that said, I'm so glad that we're working and we are going to be acting and we're going to be producing. And every time she said something, she put a period behind it. And we're going to be writing and we're going to be editing. Now, she is just the hired actress on the thing. Why are you trying to edit anything? That let me know when I saw that first tweet, that let me know, her first text, that let me know, hey, she's going to try to take over this. And she's using her, I'm just a girl type situation to win you over because, y'all men love for women to be,
a damsel,
friendly and nice and sweet and stuff like that, but not looking at the fact that behind all of that is a damn monster. And that's what we got. So she got what she wanted.
With the 17-point thing, if she's simultaneously, like she's asking you to sign off on this, but she's also simultaneously saying that you sexually harassed her, why would you agree to any of that? Hey, halt, pause. We need to get somebody in here. We need to figure this out before we do anything. Because I'm not agreeing to anything that says that I sexually harassed you on this set. I'm not agreeing to that. Then how do you come back? Yeah, you signed off on it, and now you're coming back and say, "Well, wait, I didn't actually do any of that stuff I signed off on." Well, then you should have never agreed. Should have
signed it. There was no reason in the world for you to have signed that document because she was threatening to walk off the show. Well, again, let her walk. There's Scarlett Johansson. Let her walk. And for you to be so scared about, not being able to get this movie out, or not for Sony not to be able to give you some money or whatever that was, there's no way I'm going to let somebody make me sign a document that says that I was being inappropriate on a set when I know that I was not going to be inappropriate on the set. And plus, when you see that they were filming all this stuff that she had put in her complaint, most of it is provable because of the fact that there is footage. But it might not be footage if she was the one doing all the editing and it hit the editing floor. I don't know exactly how films and do they keep stuff or not. She was able to
slice the footage to fit her accusations. Yeah. It opened up the door for her to do that, knowing that she was making the allegations. It's hard to feel bad for Brett. It's really hard to feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for anybody involved. I just think you guys deserve this, and you ruined each other's careers. This Blake Lively is 37. I just checked. There's a lot of prettier, younger, more in demand blondes that will satisfy Hollywood's requirements. Go ask Cameron Diaz, who took years off until she showed up in this Jamie Foxx movie. Her asking rate or her opportunities will go down. She better reboot Gossip Girl or something. And yes, Critical Mass, I noticed that me and Marcus got the yellow shade, and then Darius and Pam are matching also.
Oh, I just noticed that, yeah.
Green Bay Packers stuff, huh?
You're muted.
Oh, oops. I am?
He is.
No, me. I was just saying I didn't even notice.
Hey, can somebody tell me what Amy Pascal does at Sony? If she don't have her fingers on the Spider-Man projects, if she's not deep into that, if she's not putting out fires from potential sexual assault lawsuits, what is she doing? How did this man get railroaded by himself to this far of a degree? Right? Once I got the word about the sexual stuff, the sexual harassment, the fat shaming and all that. First of all, fat shaming and Blake Lively, total miss, complete miss. But once I would have heard about that, I would have felt like it was my time as, the president of the company to maybe step in and try to put everybody in their corners. She's just so aloof to everything. Where are you at?
Well, I don't know where they were, but there was a producer that's all throughout everybody's lawsuit. There is a producer that kept telling Justin Baldoni, no, don't do this. No, don't give her that. No, don't acquiesce to this. No, don't do this. And he didn't listen to any of it.
That's true.
Yo, what if there's a Joy Taylor situation happening here, but we just don't know about?
With who? With
what if she's offering
Baldoni and Lively?
Yeah, there could be a little relationship there that they just don't want to make known because married and everything. You never know. He may have been saying this It's for a reason. I don't know.
That's not an off theory, because people have said that now they claim that they think that one or the other made a pass at somebody and it didn't work out.
Ooh.
That'll hurt. Oh, and if you
Now
get turned down,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, you get turned down by someone. I don't care if it's the man to the woman or the woman to the man. You got to work with this one who turned you down and said I wasn't good enough. That's gonna hurt, man. Something's gonna start growing and festering, and then it starts becoming things that you just lash out on people, man and female. I'm not saying this is her who denied him or he who denied her, or anyone. I'm just guessing. Allegedly,
this situation right there,
isn't it?
Well, I don't know. All I know is there, people are talking. I said, well, there's several things that can be true at the same time. He was a complete idiot to acquiesce to anything she had and to sign that 17-point thing. Also, she had bad press that didn't have anything to do with someone doing a smear campaign against you. You just you don't translate well in the press. You don't. And so all those things to me were true at the same time. And now we have this cluster. The last word.
It's just one of them days.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to the next topic here on Pantheon. One of them days. We did watch the trailer that week that it came out. Me and Marcus had a back and forth talking about what this movie promotes. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Is this one of those get out and support or else? Or is it one of those, it's just stereotypical stuff? We had that conversation. But here comes the Rotten Tomatoes grade, okay? At the time when I made this a topic, it was 100%. Now it's at 95%. The tomato meter believes this is a certified fresh movie. 40 of the reviews give it a positive enough review. One of them days. How do we feel about this today that we did out, taking it back to our convo, Marcus? How do you feel about it today? How has the promotion been landing on you? Where do you stand on? Is this the must watch? Is this, you got to see Barbershop? You got to see One of Them Days? Where does this rank anymore on your must-see list?
So, first of all, I try my best not to flip-flop on Rotten Tomatoes because they've had enough examples of why they shouldn't be trusted to kind of forsake them in general. I do think that it is a positive sign that, people have reacted well to Kiki and SZA on screen together in this movie. That was kind of like part of our back and forth, right? It's like, I can see where this is a very cookie cutter, rewashed trope type of setup, right? Like it's another Friday movie, essentially. It's another movie where the two main characters are black and, oh, surprise, surprise, their struggle is they're broke. And so, you kind of set yourself up for those type of expectations when you see a premise like this. However, art is art. And it is hard to narrow down exactly how art is going to affect people, right? Or how it's going to come off. It's subjective. People have different opinions. People have different appetites at different times of their lives, right? This may be a good time for a movie like this, right? Who knows? But it does seem to be doing well. I only wish it success. I never really wanted it to fail. Just a little bit tired of the narrative, right? Like I always left the door open for it to be a success. So will I see it? Yeah, probably. I don't know if I'll get a ticket to see it, but I'll definitely watch the movie and review it. For nothing else, that's what people are watching. That's where the community is right now. So if that's what is being watched and talked about, I want to be part of the conversation. So obviously I'll get in there and watch it.
Did you see this movie, Groovy, or do you mean you're interested? Pam, okay, what's your take on this One of Them Days movie, the whole situation?
I agree. It's something that it's probably rinse and repeat, wash, rinse and repeat, something that we've seen. My interest in it is that I'm interested to see SZA. Because I've never seen her, see if she can act. I'll be honest. That's what I want to see, how she holds a comedy. I've seen Kiki in different films. I know how she does. I'm just interested to see SZA and see how she holds her on here. But everything from the previews that I've seen, it just seems like, one of those movies where, I'll be in there. Now you know better than to if you got rent or money or things that's supposed to be where it's supposed to be, why is this person who has nothing to do with you all's thing have access to your money like that? I don't understand all these things. That's just to me as a Gen Xer person. But I just want to see it because I want to see whether or not SZA can hold her own up against Kiki.
SZA's gonna be the new Storm casting when she just kicks it. She's gonna be the Jade Cargill, you know, the dark horse
Holy
pick.
shit.
She's gonna be Storm now. SZA.
Because, I've learned to not underestimate people who I think they can't do anything, because, years ago I underestimated Mary J. Blige, and Mary J. Blige can hold her own in a film or whatever that she's doing.
In everything except for Power. And literally in every project except for Power. It hurts my spirit.
Does I never watched that. I'm not into the 50 Cent cinematic universe, so
Yes.
I haven't seen of that. But I do know that I've seen her in other things, and she's always. I was surprised. I was like, okay, Mary J. Blige, you go ahead. But that's why I want to see what SZA does, because I don't want to underestimate anybody like I did Mary J. Blige back in the day.
Yeah, people be on that hateration with Mary J. I gotta be careful.
Mo, if you're calling it a poor man's Friday, but you didn't see it, you can't. Like, the only one who's here in the live chat who's seen it was Groovy, and he says it's 10 out of 10.
Also, Mad Chocolate Gaming down there, seen it. Look like I saw it today.
And I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it works really good with what it has. I can see people saying double feature with Friday. Look, that's 2 straight solid reviews. And these are way more valuable to us than that Rotten Tomatoes. Because I believe that Rotten Tomatoes, like, they're all LA-based critics. They're having a real tough time with the fire situation. And then they go, oh, we got to see a movie. What a great escape for 2 hours. And that's why this makes the movie a better experience for them. I can see that. But 2 people are telling us that this was it. This was a good movie. I'm not saying I will watch it, but I'm saying you've gotten my interest.
Yeah. And I looked at some of the interviews that they're doing, because I think Issa and SZA and Kiki are doing interviews. And they seem to, how some of you watch some of these interviews and everybody seems forced, like half the people don't like each other, but they're going to work together because they want to get this movie out. It doesn't seem that forced with them. They seem to genuinely, I like to see that, just like I like to see, if you don't like me, I need to see that you don't like me, so I know how to act accordingly. But they seem to get along with each other. They're having good rapport with the interviewers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm gonna see it because I'm interested to see what SZA is doing, because SZA had you wiped down, and she was over there in that camp showing out. So I want to see what kind of acting that she does. She was doing a whole lot of acting over there in OVO. So
OVO, yeah. She was a good actor, huh? She was a great actor.
So I want to see what she can do.
Nah, I'll definitely review it just for the sake of Issa's involvement and the fact that it's taken off. I kind of wanted to reserve my rights not to in case it bombed. I'll be honest, but it does seem like it's going to at least generate enough interest to to warrant the production. So,
what's going to get me to watch this movie? When they go on the Jennifer Hudson show and we start seeing SZA, Kiki, and Issa Rae. When they're down the spirit tunnel, Jennifer Hudson will sell this movie to every single person who's supposed to watch it.
Yes.
I love those. Those are funny.
Mm-hmm.
They just did a dude from that
game.
I love the one with Glorilla.
Abbott Elementary.
Oh, the rhythm that I thought he had. Damn, Katherine Heigl had better rhythm than that, dog.
I'm not mad at him.
I like the one with Glorilla.
I'll find
Glorilla had a good one. Who else?
I like the one.
Lotto had a pretty good one. Brian Tyree Hill, his was pretty dope. I like that they have that. Like, I feel like the one thing that most productions have lost, a lost art of TV shows and really most media, is the theme song, right? The opening. Right, a lot of people don't invest in setting the table for their products anymore. Even something as old as radio still knows to introduce their segments with some sort of theme, right? The donkey of the day, that music, cue the Hamiltons. People It creates recognition. People sing along when it comes on. So now anytime you have a celebrity on your production, it's going viral because we're going to want to see their walkthrough.
Yep.
It's very, very smart of the producers there at Jennifer Hudson show.
What song were they singing in this? Let me find it.
Biggest fans of JS season 3. Turn up with Gorilla. Turn up with J-Hud.
That's her song.
Get him up, 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 get him up.
The one in the black is having too much fun, isn't she?
She doesn't want to leave. Ran out of words.
Oh, sugar.
She's so fucking country.
I know. I love every.
I
you
just
see
don't
them
want
slipping
her
that-
to go by no plastic surgeon. I don't want her to get mixed in.
No,
That Hollywood
no,
crowd start changing her look.
no.
She's
already
perfect
beautiful.
the way she is right now. I'm not even talking like sexually. I mean like her aesthetic, her personality, the vibe she gives off. She's a normal human being. You can touch her. Like she can sit down and have a beer with you. Like just stay that way, man. I promise you, she will exceed expectations if she holds on to that. She's what people thought Cardi B was going to end up being. And here we are, almost 10 years later, and we still don't have a sophomore album. So don't turn it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all she does is features and argue with people on the internet.
And argue with people on the internet. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you curious to wanting to know what was the reason?
What was the reason?
Thank you, Mark.
And here I am talking about what?
Yeah.
Shout out to Torian
People
Rain
tried
Reloaded
to
with the
say
$5
that she
super
was gonna be better than
chat.
you.
I'm on my 8th summer, still hot. Young's the 8th wonder.
SZA is about to be on a run. This movie, she will most likely appear with Kendrick at the Super Bowl next month.
That'd be dope.
Who's saying that she won't? I'm saying that she will for sure, 100%.
She will. She definitely will. They're going on tour here in like a month or two.
And she's going on tour next with Kendrick. Ah, you beat him to it. Thank you to Torian. And you guys can look at his YouTube channel, Torian Rain Reloaded, also. And then I got a membership from Steve Saranka renewing it for the 19th month. Appreciate you, Steve.
Dope, Steve.
The John Legend and Terrence Howard is my favorite one. They had a Spirit Tunnel walk. How about we just do like a Spirit Tunnel review next week? Because I feel like there's so many that we can go over.
There's a lot of them. And that's very catchy that people, because, in this social media age, that's very catchy that, that's TikTok ain't going to be here long, but that's a good TikTok-y thing to get people, to watch your shows or watch some of the segments of your shows.
I feel like Jennifer Hudson and Shannon Sharp are going 1-for-1 right now with these interviews. Like, I don't really think there's anybody else that's competing in that realm the way they are. Now, the one slight edge I will give Jennifer Hudson, she's a little bit more seasoned in the interview game. So there's a little bit more. She doesn't always like bring up little, stuff that people aren't talking about publicly, but there's a little bit more depth to her questions. I feel like Shannon allows the guests to kind of drive the conversation, right? They sit back, they drink, and he lets them talk, and he gets very good results. Jennifer Hudson is more of the consummate professional. Like, let's go here, let's talk about this, let's talk about that. She kind of guides conversation a little bit more. So, but they're both doing very well.
None of them break news though. Until one of them break a news story, then I'll give it. Like when Jonathan,
neither one of them are journalists though, so I don't give them that type of responsibility. I don't expect them to bring the news to us. But if you can get some people in here that you have a relationship with and get us to tell them some stuff that we didn't know, okay, yeah, that's good enough.
I think she did that with the Love Island or one of the reality shows. Jennifer Hudson had the two winners, and they were so in love with each other, and it was a good promotion. It was nice.
Y'all believe in that stuff, like The Bachelor and Love Island, Love is Blind? Do y'all believe that they really be like, oh man? I think it's a load.
See, y'all are missing the red table talk now, aren't you?
No, hell no. Bad for society.
Shoot,
Well,
they were breaking news every day, every time you turned around.
The red table talk, breaking the news. Not somebody else's news, not their own.
Just their own. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
I'm
but they
about
were
to say,
breaking
We wanted to
news.
break somebody else's news, not out of their family business. Jesus.
Woo. Yeah, but you know,
So,
what if we can get back to journalistic integrity and with the journalists not trying to be part of the story and just tell the story, you know, until that happens, entertainment news shows are going to be the way we're going. And right now, people are not really caring about the truth. They're caring about being able to put their spin on what the truth is.
think about this, y'all. Maybe not 10 years ago. Let's say a little bit more, like 12, 13 years ago. TMZ was just a website. It was a website. They have a daily news hour now, Monday through Friday. They are pop culture CNN. They were a website a little over a decade ago. So yeah, I think the tide has kind of changed in terms of how people take in their information.
And they were shade roomy too.
Yes, they were a tabloid website.
Mm-hmm. They were
You
a lot
trust half the
shade
information
roomy.
that was on there.
You know what pisses me off? Hip hop. This right here. This little tab. Where's
Just
the
black,
other?
black people? They should just label it black people.
100%. I bet Wendy Williams' story is underneath that.
We got news, sports, black people, watch.
But the Rock doesn't show up there. If there's a story about The Rock, it won't be under hip hop.
Probably not.
Oh, look at this news story was funny. And I'm very much on Method Man's side. Until proven otherwise, I'm supportive of Method Man beating up his ex's
his daughter's ex.
Daughter's ex.
Allegedly
Beat him up through multiple punches towards his facial region. Allegedly.
Did anybody see him? Did they put, I'm going to my grandmother. Did anybody see you? Did they put their hands on you? Well, then it wasn't you.
Well, it's hard if it did happen for nobody to have seen it. Unless it happened in the locker room.
Yeah.
Locker room.
I don't know if TMZ was talking about it, but I know Dee in the morning they were talking about it. What's going on in Jamie Foxx's house? They running around playing butt naked basketball.
What now?
Yeah, what? Cat Williams was talking about it. I guess
like in his stand up, in the latest stand up he had, or just like he was out telling people that they was playing butt ass nigga.
I don't know.
Because he also called Jamie Foxx a clone.
Shit, it might have been that latest stand up.
How hard is it to remove a tattoo from the back of your head? Because that is the most damning thing out of all of that. I'll be laughing about the clone shit, and I'll be like, where did that tattaoo go?
He says it was for a movie, but that's what
Bullshit.
I said. It was on there
that
for
tattoo
so long.
was on there. Bullshit. He was in the what was the song he did with Kanye? Damn it.
Gold Digger?
Not Gold Digger.
Slow Jams?
Slow Jams. He had that tattoo in Slow Jams.
Didn't he have the tattoo and She Got Her Own? I love her because she got her own.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He sure did. That was off the Unpredictable album.
Yeah.
Which I loved, by the way. Jamie Foxx is a very underrated talent. Tonight we're getting unpredictable. So try to roll with me, baby. Baby. I'ma make you feel like you never felt. Girl, I'ma take you up. We getting unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a good one.
That's what music had. That was some good times. I know people always say R&B's not dead, but man, it's just not the same.
Compared to what we grew up on, it's dead.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Just because the R&B artists don't talk no different than the rappers nowadays. Like the R&B guys used to be okay being the softer guys, right? Mm-hmm. They were Drake. The R&B guys owned Drake Lane for like 2 decades. And then all of a sudden they start trying to be hard like the rappers. You had all these rapping, singing hybrids after Drake, and it was like, hold on, man, y'all need to pick a lane. Killed R&B.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? And I'll just tell it from me thing. The R&B guys were always, even though they didn't mind showing their softer side and singing and begging and out in the rain and everything like that, you could never run up on an R&B guy because he will whoop you behind. Yeah,
Johnny
he'll
Gill
put you
was
down.
known for putting his paws on
Why?
his
Why was I just about to say Johnny Gill?
Johnny Gill was known for putting his paws on people. He was not to be trifled with, but he was the number one
That's
guy.
funny.
He had talked your mother and your grandmother right out her drawers right after he
Bruh,
beat you to the ground.
I remember going to see. I know y'all not gonna like this. Going in theaters, going to see Medea's Family Reunion. When this nigga came on the screen, you would have thought he walked into the theater the way everybody was screaming. I was like, I would never forget that. I will never forget that. Because out of nowhere, yes, all these girls, women, just oh my god. No, yeah.
Johnny Gill was that guy, or is still that guy. I shouldn't say was.
I'm trying to watch this whole video on 2-point speed if I see this tattoo you keep talking about.
I have a Tyler Perry story I wanted to share.
Oh, you talking about Jamie Foxx? I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
look with you. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. See what year. See what movie he was trying to. Because what movie would you need to have that? What movie y'all remember Jamie Foxx having a tattoo on his head?
Did he
Other
not
than
have
he
it?
actually had a tattoo on his head.
But did
It
he
wasn't
have it
any given
in
Sunday, was it?
What was it?
Horrible Bosses? Did he have it
I
in
said it
Horrible
wasn't in
Bosses?
any given Sunday, was it?
No,
he had
that's
it
too
on
far
there.
back. Yeah, he's still
Let me check.
that was around the time of the I feel like he was still doing the show, or maybe had just got done doing the Jamie Foxx show. Well, and any given Sunday. It would have been like early 2000s, like 03, 04-ish.
Miami Vice.
No, he just had tattoos on his head in Horrible Bosses.
He did have a tattoo on his head, Horrible Bosses, but he had it publicly. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember seeing it in a movie. I remember him like walking around with it, pictures, red carpets.
Yeah, because here's a picture right here on the red carpet with it.
Tattoo.
Pull it up.
This picture?
Yes. Because he didn't turn around for enough for me to see in that video.
It was on the back of his damn head.
We got the Dre Max show in the building. Pam, whose show is better, Pantheon or Blurred AF? Let's be real.
Oh, there's a tattoo. Look
You
at
see it?
there. Oh.
I think it's letting me zoom. Hold on. I don't know what site this is, so this could be really sketch. So let's let me back out real quick.
And man, if I put a tattoo on that spot of my head, it's staying there. I'm just not.
Yeah, and that looks like one of those tribal tattoos. You know, like the Rock and them have. It looks like one of those like kind of tribal tattoos.
Jamie, tell us
Yeah.
something, dog.
Hi, Chief Jamie Maivia.
Yeah, that was the same. Yeah. But I guess I
And
don't know
to
if he
answer
had
your
that.
question, Chill, I think my show, Stunt Shows and Shenanigans, is the better show.
That's a great answer.
That was a good answer. It was a very
Politically
Marvel
correct.
Studios deflecting answer.
Yeah, no, that's BS. That one's fake.
That's
Yeah.
horrible,
No,
Boston.
that's the shit I was thinking of. I don't know why I thought that,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
that's motherfucker Jones. That is clearly fake.
Yeah, motherfucker Jones.
And that was a movie he played.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
horrible.
Horrible Bosses is funny. as
Very
shit.
underrated comedy. I would
God,
highly recommend.
man.
If nobody's seen the Horrible
Oh
Bosses
my
series,
god.
watch them both.
The
Watch 'em both.
opening of the second one, he said, "What's the name of this product?" He said, "Nickerdale." He said, you gotta rename it.
I like the
Oh, that
balance
shit
of the
is-
cast too, because Bateman is one of my guys, but
Bro, I
Sudeikis
love
and
Bateman.
the little guy. they make it
Yes.
easy. They make
Sudeikis and he plays Luigi. Always Sunny.
Yeah, yep. That's not my name.
Funny.
They call me
He is
Stacy.
funny as
That's not
fuck.
my name.
I don't think Fist Fight is funny like that, but he is hilarious in Fist Fight with Ice
Very
Cube.
good at Fist Fight with Ice Cube. Yeah, honestly,
He is hilarious.
I like Fist Fight more than I like both of the ride-alongs.
Oh yeah, I don't really care for ride along
I
like that.
like Fist Fight more than I like both of the ride-alongs. It was much
Yeah,
better
Fist
chemistry
Fight.
between him and Ice Cube.
Yeah, yeah.
The LA fires that came out, you know what I mean? They happened. Tyler Perry posted this on his story on his Instagram. Watching a daughter use a garden hose to try and protect her 90-year-old home because their insurance was canceled was just gut-wrenching to me. Does anyone else find it appalling that insurance companies can take billions of dollars out of communities for years and then all of a sudden be allowed to cancel millions of policies for the very people they became rich on? People who have paid premiums all of their lives are left with nothing because of pure greed. As I am in the process of trying to figure out what steps to do, all I can to help as many as I can, I am keeping everyone in my prayers. I want to repeat that. He didn't commit to doing anything. He is in the process of trying to figure out what steps to take to do all I can to help as many as I can. So that's not
Man,
a
that's
commitment.
a whole lot of words for saying I'm about to help.
But there's nothing that he said yet, and I'm not mad at him. Of course, he saw me like it along with my girl Megan. Good. I like that post, and it's like something. But a lot of people are doing a lot of chatter, and we know for a fact from history that that's it. Like, no one's really coming to save families. I don't know what he thinks he can do. Grab a bunch of people's cash apps and throw some money in there. Like, what will he do to fix it? If not, he probably shouldn't have spoke.
I would
Well-
love for him to commit to rebuilding Altadena because that's about the only.
Well, I was just about to say, this seems so huge, with, because every time when I watch and they show like a little portion of what happened, I mean, it's just like Altadena is just gone. And a
Gone.
lot of the different places are gone. But as you were talking about the insurance things, because I can share my quick insurance story. So I had my home insured with this one company. And when was this? This is when we had these hurricanes that year. It was like 2 or 3 of them that came in there that year, and it caused some damage. I live in Alabama, so it caused some damage up here in Alabama and other places. There was hurricanes. It was like a hurricane or a few tornadoes or something like that. So my insurance carrier decided that if you didn't bundle with them, they were going to cancel your insurance. So I had my car insurance with one place, and I had my home insurance with another insurance company. The insurance company did not tell me, or did not write me, did not do anything. They canceled my policy. It wasn't until my mortgage company says, "Hey, who do you have your insurance with? Because we have the money and the stuff and we need to pay for your thing, but we don't know who your insurance is." I'm like, "Well, so and so is my insurance company." They're like, "Well, they're saying that that your policy was canceled." I said, "How can my policy be canceled? I didn't cancel a policy." So here I go and call my insurance agent. And sure enough, what had happened is my insurance agent, unbeknownst to me, had passed away. And so when he passed away, they took his clients and his stuff, and they figured the people who did not bundle with the insurance, they were going to cancel. And I said, "Well, why didn't you all send me? Why would my mortgage company have to be the people to call me and tell me where my money is supposed to go to pay the insurance? You should have said, well, if you didn't bundle or anything." I said, "You all didn't give anybody any opportunity to do anything. You didn't call." I said, "I could have." But I say all that to say that these are some of the sneaky tactics that I have found that some of these insurance companies will do. Like in my area, at one point, because there's a lot of places that can flood. And it used to be that you can add on that flood insurance policy. Well, they cut that out. Now you have to go with the federal government, I think, to get flood insurance or something like that. But they sneakily take these little different things, because I heard that they had canceled people's fire policies. And now all of a sudden, this big, huge fire happens. And then you're seeing people, looks like they're setting fires. Now, I don't know if these are skits or I don't know what they are, but I've seen several different places where people are just moseying along. And then there are people in hoods with the hoods and these
I think
bandanas around their face.
Niecy Nash said they caught somebody in her neighborhood. I don't know if people were taking the wildfires as an opportunity to kind of like blend in and be arsonists while it was going on.
That even starts the conversation, because there are people that are thinking that even the wildfires weren't naturally wildfires. There's some nefarious shit going on in California.
Yeah, this one hit Malibu as well as it hit Altadena. So it's like, if there was a target, it was multicultural. At the very least, you can say that.
But,
well, they couldn't control it.
Yeah, they can't really control it once the blaze goes up. Yeah.
But see, I'm sorry, Pam, go
I
ahead.
don't think that they were counting on the winds, because it's one thing to start a fire and then it takes out all the brush or something like that, but they were not counting. I don't think it, and I'm just speculating for someone who's starting the fire, but I don't know if they were speculating that it was going to be a big cluster because of the fact that it hit and all these winds, and then they were saying some of the embers were flying everywhere. So this
Michael Nemo kind of took that words out of my mouth there. I wasn't, well, kind of somewhat with that, but I was going to say this also takes it back to the Luigi conversation. This is why I said you're going to have more than one Luigi, because you are playing with people's lives and you are playing with people's money. These insurance companies pulling out a day before the fires. And you don't want to pay these people that's been paying 20 years on their insurance. Come on, that's come on now.
They should be able to sue them into the ground, man. They should be able to put together the world's largest class action suit, biggest class action suit of all time, and go after State Farm, because that is just, again, insurance companies have that edict, like that is their business model, is to be able to deny as much so that they can keep the premiums to stay solvent. That's the business model. But like, again, to do it the day before the fire struck signals to people that you're involved. It signals to people, even if they can't prove it, even if they have no evidence to the fact, you are directly associating yourself with their pain, right? Like, you're not even trying to hide it. And so then if one of yours is just out here walking around and they lose all of everything that they hold dear, maybe even their head top, you want people to cry. You want people to be, oh my God, that's so terrible that happened to a person. Say that when the wildfires hit. There's so much hysteria built behind some rich guy getting pieced up the way the people in New York get pieced up every day. Than there is for all of these people that lost their shit in California, that lost their homes, that lost their investments, that lost, everything, like totally wiped out to the ground. They can't replace it. They have no insurance.
And what a slap to the face, to not only the face of the American people, but not only the face of the citizens of Pasadena, but in America, for our government, our president, to get up here and say, we're going to send you guys $730. What was it that they're sending them? That's insane to me. What the fuck am I doing with 700 and whatever? That's insane. But meanwhile, you're sending millions over to. Yeah, that's crazy to me.
That always been crazy that the government collects so much money from you, and then when you need to access the money, you don't get it. But people overseas can get hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars.
People overseas, special interest groups,
right?
All kind of
we're sending billions to help motherfuckers that ain't even at home with us.
Now, the biggest mistake that they could make is allow Bezos or Musk or Zuckerberg or Gates to move in there with one of their tech cities, right, in that area, because I just don't know how far you can push people. I don't know how far you can push people. I don't know if you can have a natural disaster happen right before it happens, take away their resolve to come back from that natural disaster, and then build a monument to capital right in the ashes of their burnt down homes. I don't believe that people are going to stand for that. I don't think a country that was created on the back of revolution is going to sit around and let the oligarchs go that far. That's just my thought. But
the government is an insurance company. As you mentioned, Luigi, just a minute ago, that's because of the super chat, right?
I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a check. Tell my mind I ain't forget.
Like, I'm looking at his face the whole time that plays. He's not pleased. He's like, how you gonna defame Michael and Janet?
I'm so mad it matches up so well. Like, it's in sync.
Yeah, when you told me you made a Michael one and I heard that, I was thinking that's not Mike.
Well, Luigi might have done more for insurance mindset awareness than Perry's tweet.
Absolutely.
Luigi influenced Planet Fitness and all, because they're opening up all their locations. You can get a shower here, you can get water here. It's a safe station here. every single one in that Palisade or LA region. Okay, Luigi, has made other companies wake up and like, oh, okay, it's a tragedy. We got to show out in a way that didn't happen when lockdowns were starting. We weren't getting, like, grocery stores weren't going, we'll cut our prices down. In fact, nothing was on sale. You would expect, like, okay, you guys are billionaires. It's a tough time. You get good press out of this. No, every single one of them marked up the prices. Now there's a natural disaster, and all the companies in LA in that region are like striving to make the most out of getting good press for their generosity, which is, I guess, in Luigi influenced. Shout out to Luigi.
Well, see, that's also what they did in response to the riots in 2020, and we see how fleeting that was, right?
Well, we know this is only going to be temporary because the fire and the damage.
Right. That's why I'm saying I feel like the more pressing reaction that shows their underbelly is what was going on in New York when they tried to have a hotline created for CEOs to call when they feel in danger. See, that's the type of reaction that I see, and I say, oh, yeah, that's a break. That's a break, because that means you have actual fear, just like the people who walk around on these streets that work for you, that clean your offices, that drive your cars, that watch your children, that they have every day, because the company you run might, just throw their policy away, or it might, go belly under with your investment and let the executives run off like bank robbers or something like that, right? Like, you should have that type of fear when you have those type of intentions to screw over that many people. You should have that level of fear. You should want a hotline for somebody to come save your ass. If you're going to defraud people of their money, if you are going to pillage every penny out of working class people that you possibly can so that you can buy more shit, okay, you should feel that way.
100%.
Everyone wants a Marlon Jackson body roll. Dun, 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 dun. Listen, what a hater. You know what? The super chats keep coming, and so will the celebrations. Let's go to Static Shock. Yeah, Buck's thoughts. The CEO of State Farm needs to hire more security. If you know, you know.
Boy.
Yeah.
And see, the funny thing is, again, when we're talking about with the wildfires, it ain't just broke folks. First of all, there aren't too many inexpensive homes out there in that area where it was burning in California. So it's not just regular folks that you're upsetting, or that you're taking their prized possessions away from. Some of these people do have money. It's just the fact that anyone who doesn't have the resources to rebuild a monument to themselves, like the uber rich, is going to be left without. Like, even if you were making six figures, you're probably not going to be able to afford to build a brand new construction in that part of California again. It's just not going to be a thing. A lot of the people that lived in Altadena, the black neighborhood, right? The one Sidney Poitier grew up there. Maya Angelou grew up there, right? That neighborhood was there because they had been there for generations, not because black people were able to afford property there. They are never going to be able to afford to buy or build there again. A lot of the people in that area, because again, they were passing that property down generation to generation.
Right. And also, too, with the way that, from what I understand with California, they've changed some of their building codes and building things and stuff like that. So they may not be able to build the house as it was then. It may, it may be smaller, or, whatever. Just their building codes and things change. So those houses, some of those houses, which were were beautiful, they may not be able to afford to build it at that same
as it was
level of rate. Because, all these building codes have changed.
It's a lot of history lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Star Wars time.
Let's do it.
Kathleen Palpatine, formerly known as Kathleen Kennedy, is being awarded an ASC's Board of Governors Award. The Oscar-nominated producer and current president will be honored for her extraordinary career, which has captivated audience and made her a true trailblazer in the film industry. says the organization, the American Society of Cinematographers. Everyone who won the ASC award last year? Exactly.
I'm also not mad at her getting an award for being a cinematographer. That's how she broke into the industry. That's probably where she's done the most worthwhile project on Jurassic Park, on E.T. Like she's done actual work on those projects. It's the Star Wars stuff that sucks.
Well, they put a list out, and you can see it's Jurassic Park, E.T. You hit the ones you started with. Hilarious. The Sixth Sense, the Back to the Future trilogy, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Gremlins,
Oh
The
yeah, she
Goonies,
deserves this. She deserves it.
Poltergeist, Lincoln, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Schindler's List, The Adventures of Tintin.
How do you go from making all of that beautiful cinema? But you know what? You know what it is? I think I just gave myself the answer. I thought about it. Thank you, Marcus. So what it is sometimes people are talented at doing things. They're exceedingly talented at doing things. It's only until you bring that person out of what they're talented at doing and you put them in a new position, a higher position, you promote them, that you may start to see their flaws. And while Kathleen Kennedy may have a beautiful eye for cinema, because I loved every movie on that list, there wasn't a movie that you named that I hadn't seen and given a thumbs up, or at very least, right? Back to the Future, Benjamin Button, all of that, up and down. Jurassic Park, E.T., there isn't a miss on that list for me.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Oh my God, that's the flashback. But everything she has produced outside of Force Awakens and Rogue One. So she's had 2 hits, Rogue One and Force Awakens for me. But everything else has been garbage. And it's because maybe she wasn't the cinematographer and she was the executive producer. Just wrong role. Wrong role.
They say that she is looking for a W on her before she disperses from.
She ain't gonna find it at Lucasfilm.
Oh no, she's not. I mean, the W would be her leaving Lucasfilm. That's the W. So I'm not sure.
Josh said the same thing in the morning, and Den and Nerds, he said the same thing. The W is you leaving. And it's funny you said the exact wording.
Josh said that this morning?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Is it a cinematic dub, or does she just want to be exalted? Maybe we can make this bigger. We should tell more people that she's getting this award.
In his stream? I'm sorry. In his stream or an individual video?
In his stream, he said it. Well, somewhere in the 2 hours, he mentioned that exact wording. And she does need a W. The Goonies was something that, surprise, surprise, she was attached to, and this skeleton crew was the Goonies, so call that a full circle W. Good job, Kathy, because I liked Skeleton Crew, so shout out to you, Kathleen Kennedy, on your way out. Your Goonies work, which wasn't even her work, everybody.
Did you watch all 8 episodes, Marcus?
I got 2 more to go.
Oh, okay.
But I know enough to speak on the series. It wasn't. Oh, she did the Goonies too?
The final producer is Kathleen Kennedy. She's an executive producer with Steven Spielberg and Frank Marshall, which would be her husband. She's not that significant. She's
done some great work. Phenomenal
on paper. She's on paper, but you're gonna tell me that wasn't Spielberg's movie and Richard Donner's movie?
No, it was. But hold on. So is she just a producer on all those projects, or is she a cinematographer on some of those projects? And Michael Nebo said she's never been a cinematographer. So that just wiped out every bit of joy I was trying to give her, even though I still love those movies.
Yeah. Yay for Kathy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a producer. Eesh.
Talent. I guess yay for Kathy. I mean, yeah, those are great films. They are. I mean, of course.
How do you get there in the same role? See, I had a built-in excuse for you, at least, that they was changing your role. But if you've been an executive producer on all these, what happened at Lucasfilm?
They say she wanted to take it down, but that's just what they say. I don't know. There's so many different theories of why Kathy, why Star Wars. I don't know. And if you again, yay for Kathy and her award with that, but you're still the president currently of a failing franchise, and you get a big fat F for that. And for that, if you take and you look at what's going on not even the Ahsoka season 2 stuff. Whatever. Yay, Clone Wars flashbacks. Okay. But the rumors with the Mando Grogu movie that Christian Harloff shared, if that is real, they just that needs to be the last thing that they do under the mouse. They need to sell it. They just need to sell this franchise. They need to get rid of
If
it.
they
They
make
clearly don't
another
understand it.
babysitter, buddy cop film with Grogu and Mando, I don't think I've ever asked for a theater to refund my ticket. I probably will, just so that
I
I
want my
can
money back, and I haven't seen it yet.
I have never asked for my money back, and no matter how dissatisfied I was with the movie, I will walk out 30 minutes to the end and ask for my money back. I'm not gonna, probably not even 30 minutes to the end. I'm probably just gonna walk out.
You've seen the 2008 cartoon Clone Wars movie that set off the Clone Wars series.
Mhm.
It's that plot. It's that plot.
Why would you bring that in here? You have Thrawn going on. See, there's a part of me that doesn't want to believe it because it's taking Mando and Grogu like clear in the left field from the overarching, if there's an overarching
That's what
narrative.
I said. I said that today. It
So
makes
far
no
out.
sense. Like how?
Because
Where
you
did
know what they'll do,
what?
Darius? You know what they'll end up doing? They will spend that entire movie with Mando and Grogu by themselves doing this dumb shit with the Hudsons or whoever, right? And then try to make them both appear in Ahsoka season 2.
Oh yeah. I could definitely see
And drown out anything that was planned for Filoni and what he had going on for season 2. That will be the same thing they did with Boba Fett is what they will do with Ahsoka season 2.
The logic behind this plot is Baby Yoda made money. Let's do another baby. We'll sell merchandise. The movie doesn't even have to make that much.
Stinky didn't make money or merchandise when they introduced him in 2008.
Yeah, but Kathy wasn't producing those ones. Now it'll make money.
Is she credited on? I think she's credited on the Clone Wars 2008 film because George is. I'm pretty sure she's with him. Yeah, Kathy. Yeah, no, she. Yeah, no.
She's completely off her damn rocker.
The fact that because I didn't realize that it was the 2008 Clone Wars plot until I was reading the article today on it, and I said so this is literally the cartoon from 2008 that they're just like, but instead of Anakin and Ahsoka saving the kid, it's gonna be Grogu and Mando saving the kid. My thing is, how long has it been? Why is he still a kid? Like, there's so many different.
Yeah, when is he not gonna stop goo-gooing and gaga? I was hoping to see that in this movie. Like, the only thing that would be a bigger, like, viral moment than just rewatching baby Grogu over and over and over again would be maybe preteen Grogu, maybe teenager Grogu, young adult Grogu with some language now. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't have to be handheld in every situation indefinitely in the show now, right? Because that's like their only plot tool. Oh, how do we save Grogu now? Oh shit, somebody else grabbed Grogu. How do we get him back? Oh man, Grogu got lost in the middle of this quest. We got to stop what we're doing and go save Grogu. It's like
they wouldn't even have to worry about him if they would have just left his ass with Luke. Then we wouldn't have to worry about him. We wouldn't need to see him again until we saw Luke.
Because that would have been a perfect way to reintroduce Luke into this whole saga with the Ahsoka season 2 and the Grogu movie or the Mando movie, because he could have popped back up then.
Yep, and he could have been a badass, pulling out his lightsaber next to Luke and all that type of shit. Yes, well, I can't say really that Filoni and Favreau really get the smoke like that because, I mean, yes and no. Favreau, this is not what Favreau wanted to do. Kathleen came in and juxed what he wanted to do. He said Grogu go with Luke. She said Grogu sells, put him back and insert him into the story unnecessarily.
To me, the only person that's had their private parts clipped is Favreau. Filoni got a promotion. Mm-hmm. Filoni got a promotion. Before he got his promotion, I would have given that excuse. I would have said, okay, yeah, he's just kind of going along. He's trying to keep his job. Well, you're head of creative development or whatever the hell they gave you, but you're supposed to be involved in every project coming out of Lucasfilm now. So I'm going to attach blame to you when some of this stuff comes out like crap, especially when it's not just like a visual thing, when it's something dealing with lore. Filoni is the only Lucas guy we got left, right? Favreau is a acolyte of Lucas, but he did not spend time with Lucas. He didn't work with Lucas. Filoni is the last holdover we have from Lucas's original, group, if you would. I guess he did the Clone Wars with him. So
he's basically the Feige of Star Wars.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
been there since before. Yeah,
so
he's been there a long time.
It's hard for me not to assign some blame to him because to a certain degree, he's kind of just going with the flow, right? If you're not speaking out about Plagueis, about what is it? Divergence? Is it or convergence? What is the Anakin thing? His of the Force, avergence. If you're not talking to them about that, if you're not say, hey, look, no, we got to put a stop to this Yoda in the acolyte thing because there's no way that this thing goes anywhere if Yoda even smells it. Like if he's not stopping that,
it was a red flag.
What are you there for? Yeah, what are you there for?
It was a red flag when he said that he had conversations with Leslie about Acolyte season 2 and her plans and things like that. And my thing was, this was after we had seen the show, and it's like, oh well, if you had conversations with Leslie about her plans, why did we see what we saw? Why did because I'm assuming she told you, and then I want to do this, I'm going to do that, and at the end we're going to have Plagueis just weirdly peek out from around the corner. How does that sound?
How does that sound? Right? And he was like, "Yeah, go." Like I will give him Boba Fett. If she screwed over Boba Fett, I will give that to you. But by the time that we get to producing the Acolyte, which had to be running simultaneously because Acolyte was in production for like 4 years, so they had to have been doing those two things at one time. If she's chopping your legs out from underneath you on your project on Boba Fett, and you're also simultaneously producing this Acolyte monster Frankenstein production, why wouldn't you exert the influence that she's taken away from you on Boba Fett on Acolyte? Okay, you're going to do this. You're going to bring back Grogu into this story, even though it doesn't make sense. Cool. I'm going to make your Acolyte story actually make sense. Otherwise, are you just a direct executive in name only and not an influence? That doesn't help me. As much as I have an affinity for Dave Filoni, that doesn't move the needle for me.
A lot of people have said it is just a title. It's CCO. People have said, oh, that's just a title he has, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know who has the power over there at Lucasfilm or whatever's going on, but I don't know. We'll have to,
not in a good spot.
We'll see.
Sure.
We'll see.
You out of here,
Thanks
Pam?
for coming, Pam.
Yes, I am. Thank you all so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Peace out. What was that it on Star Wars?
Yeah, I'm good. I like Skeleton Crew. I think it's not over for them. They're not as bad.
Oh God, they're coming back. They alluded that they're gonna come back. Oh God, I thought this was like a one and done thing.
This is a sign. It's not over for them, meaning Star Wars in general, the franchise.
Oh,
I was gonna say, you think
like
John
the
Watts is gonna
kids.
make a season 2 of this?
I don't want to reveal any spoilers, but there's nothing that
watched it,
says it has
so
to be season 2.
The numbers have said no one watched it, so it's fine. I don't know. Does anyone who's here? Does anyone care? I don't. If you were to,
well, you'll enjoy it because you'll be able.
Do you care, Marcus?
You're 4 episodes back. How many episodes back are you, Marcus? 3?
2.
Okay, then you'll actually enjoy yourself when you sit down and you get like an hour worth of content. You'll be like, oh, this was cool.
Sure.
It's not bad. Okay.
No, it's not a bad show. It's just not good enough to pull them out of the position that they are currently in. That's where we're at. It's not good enough for you to be putting out after what we've gotten from Star Wars in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
They can return. Star Wars can make a comeback.
Under the mouse.
The mouse isn't the problem. KK is the problem.
We'll see.
Remember, I told you guys that I had a hot take
Yes.
before the podcast started. I do not think that Disney can survive with both Lucasfilm and Marvel in tow. I think they are going to have to sell one off to focus on the other.
They
I
need to
think
sell Star Wars.
It's going to get to a point where one of those franchises is not going to be viable. It absolutely feels like it's going to be Lucasfilm at this point, because Marvel is trying to pull themselves out of a hole where Lucasfilm seems content.
I pray.
But I don't think that they can go forward moving both of those large IPs and keeping them at their peak. First of all, I think it's fair enough to say that the Disney company does not invent. They don't create, they acquire. And it's one thing if you have a flagship and you can pour all your resources into it and you can build it up to what you have now in the MCU. It's another thing if you need to revitalize two franchises of that size at the same time. I think one of them dies like a weaker twin in the womb, and it's probably going to be Lucasfilm. I think they're going to have to sell it off.
Yep, sell it. And to answer Chill Spot, I'd give it to Apple. Or I would do a who is that? Is that HBO that does Dune and all that? HBO.
Nah, I don't think they would. I think if they bought it, they would buy it to put it in a box somewhere and only sell the classic stuff because they like Dune. They like where Dune is going. They got a video game out. They got the TV show. They got Dune Messiah coming out in 2 years.
They're the first choice of Apple.
Yeah. Apple would be good. I'd like to see where Prime is by that time, MGM Studios, but Apple probably would be my number one choice. I think the other bigger studios would have similar problems to what Disney had in terms of now they got two problems, right? They got to differentiate themselves from Disney's Star Wars, but also from the Lucas stuff if they want to start anew. So.
Yeah,
I don't see the problem like you guys see it. I think that you just get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, which is an inevitability in a few years, and you go, it's a new company. We put someone competent.
You know how long we've been saying it's inevitable that she was going to leave Lucasfilm? I feel like we've been saying that. And then when I say we, not just us three, I'm saying just as a whole. I feel like that has, growing up in the Black community, I've heard all my life, and this just like my grandmother always used to say, Jesus is coming back. He's on his way. I feel like that's the same thing with Kathy. I feel like for so long we've heard whispers and rumors and theories of her leaving Lucasfilm. Yet she still stands, and as she gets stronger, the franchise grows weaker.
Well,
she's got to go.
The way age works is that at some point everybody dies, at least retires.
So are we saying Kathy has to die before Star Wars can live? Oh my gosh.
I think maybe he's saying that she'll just reach a point in her life where she would rather not have something like that happen to her while she's on the lot at Disney, and she want to live a more comfortable life at home with her family eventually. I just would like her to get to that point like expeditiously, like now.
Retirement is an inevitability, and the longer we wait and the more annoying it is, the closer we are to it.
I feel like somebody's got to force her hand though. Like you can't allow her to just kind of sit around as long as she wants, because clearly that's a very long time. So let's clean this up.
She really has to go. I was watching the KOTOR cinematics, and my thing is, I just don't know how fucking hard it is to literally take that
right
and just make it into the films. Like those, I can rewatch those over and over and over. Like that shit it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Do you remember the days of genre films where you used to complain that it was too close to a 1-to-1, that it wasn't inventive enough? Like the first Hawk movie, I believe was off of a comic run. I don't remember I don't read a lot of Hawk, so I don't know who's written Hawk historically.
You mean the Incredible Hulk, or what are you saying?
Yeah,
Hawk?
the Eric Bana Hulk.
Oh, you just have a difficult time saying a 4-letter word, Hulk.
What am I saying? I'm saying Hulk.
Am I alone here, Darius? He's
Can
just
you hear? Can you hear the K in my Hawk?
I heard it there.
You didn't hear it before. Damn. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's late. But
I just have
whatever.
to get you for saying a word that sounds like you're not saying it properly.
Anywho, that iteration of the Hulk was based on a comic run, and I remember it being like a point of emphasis in the discourse of the movie back then. And, oh, it's so slow, and it was too much of a 1-to-1. And, you know, it didn't do anything. The film was dark as hell. The entire film was dark as hell when he wasn't in the desert. But those days when we were complaining about it being too accurate, it being too, you know, there was no excitement to it.
Yeah,
I wish we could go back to that.
Like, this shit is just like so, like, bro, this whole story is this story here. For those of you that aren't Star Wars fans like that, I implore you, go watch this. And it's not as long as the sequel trilogy. And then if you've seen the sequel trilogy, compare it to that. I guarantee you this shit is 10 times what Disney's done with billions of dollars.
I mean, I'm looking at it. It looks amazing.
It's insane. Like, the story, all of it, it is insane. It is so fucking good. Yeah. Yeah, like, it's great, bro. Darth Talon, like, it, yeah. They jumped into some, their dad is improvisient. Like, it is some dope stuff going on in the KOTOR. And like, when you got rumors too, I don't know how true this is, Daniel RPK saying that Star Wars Lucasfilm wants to do a KOTOR series. Please don't, because that's this. Please don't. Please leave this alone. Like, this, how I see this is how I want to remember this. Like, don't mess with it. Just don't.
What if it's Filoni or Favreau that wants to do it though? What if that's just like their thing?
Yeah, but isn't Kathleen still gonna be like, she like showing up to like to
She's still around, bro. She gonna do what she want to do.
Yeah, no, please don't touch it. Like, yeah, just don't touch it. Like, it's some cool. It's some. If you ever have time, it's 30 minutes. In this 30 minutes, you will find a love for Star Wars that you won't find in the 6 hours of the 3 films that Disney gave you. But that's great stuff there.
Let's answer some supers.
I'm on my 8th summer, still hot, young's the 8th wonder. All I do is get bread, yeah, I take wonder.
We got Michael Nemo, who drops a 5
yeah.
on us, says, what happened to at Lucasfilm? The Lucas left. He attracted talent. She was surrounded by talent. Lucas was a visionary. She greenlit Force is female BS. When you say that, though, the Force is female, you automatically like box yourself into a position.
But not in this conversation, though. Like, she did that to herself. She's the one that named it. Like, it's not MCU because there's a certain group of people who made MCU.
She literally had Forces female.
Yeah, she coined Forces female. That was her thing.
She had that shirt at Celebration that she thought she was doing this badass deal where she came out and did the Superman deal, and the shirt said that, and we were all like,
you're like, oh, okay.
Well, I don't think, okay, I'll speak for myself. That's nothing. That's just a t-shirt. I get it. Force female. They both start with F. She's a lady. Ray's leading. Cool, whatever. But what I saw in the following years meant that was a mindset that she was representing. I
get what you're saying, Chill, but when you have an established fandom like this and you are speaking, and I'm sorry, you have to think about the fans like this. You are speaking to a male-dominated franchise. I mean, that's just the point of it. Yes, there are female Star Wars fans, but this is a male-dominated fandom. When you come out and you're saying the Force is female, something that we've never equated gender to, you're looking to start issues. You're looking for problems. And as a president, whatever the fuck she is, you should know better. But that was years ago when there's no going back from that. So
there, the Force is female. These are not t-shirts that they sell over at Star Wars.
It does not matter. But she still wore it. You were the president of the fucking company. You should know better than that. Why are you wearing ironed on t-shirts made? I'm sorry, no. There's no excuse that can be thrown to where she should have worn that. If you wanted to wear that at home, tonight, at night, whatever, that's fine. But in public to a Star Wars celebration, no.
Who's the head of Disney Animation? Jog my memory. Here, maybe I can look it up. Look it up.
Alan Bergeron.
Alan Bergeron.
Disney Animation.
I don't know. No idea.
Oh, I thought you were reading it. You were just making that up.
Jared Bush is the Chief Creative Officer, CEO of Walt Disney Animation Studios.
Okay, cool. So imagine Jared Bush showing up to D23 with a shirt on with Elsa grabbing her crotch, and it says Elsa's got balls. It's pretty off-putting, right? Doesn't fit. Might be a badass t-shirt. Sends a loud statement about female empowerment. Is it the right setting? Is it appropriate for the crowd? Is it going to go over well in the press?
It's just a t-shirt until the movies represent the same message the t-shirt was trying to give.
I also agree. Until you confirm it on film, what you actually mean, it was just a t-shirt. She probably could have gotten away with it if she continued to provide good Star Wars content. But it was the dip in quality, the female focus, and the belligerence not to draw a connection to those two things that kind of drove people to feel this way.
Michael got us doing a 10-year-old discussion, like a talking point that is retired in my opinion. But yes,
it is definitely retired because, like I said, there's nothing. That hole is dug. She did that. That's been on. It still gets brought up. Yeah, she just has to go. There's just too many tallies against her. She's got to go.
Facts.
Another super.
Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
See, so he likes when it's the Michael song, and then any visual was okay with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you know which WrestleMania that was?
I have no clue.
32.
It looked like one of the New Day dudes though, so I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Disney could do. Say again?
I said it had to have been recent.
Yeah. 32 is 8 years ago. That's still recent. Disney could do what Marvel did with Sony. Marvel did it out of they forced to do it, and they don't like that they're doing it right now because they could make a lot of money with Spider-Man. I think every next movie Disney thinks they're going to do is going to be a hit. They don't make these planning on them to flop. They thought that Mufasa would have been at least 800 million. Some people on this panel thought that, but they think you like that. They think that everything next is going to be a hit. Ice Age has been moved to December of 2026, and they're like, yeah, that's the thing. In comes Shrek, going, we're going to delay our movie to make
gonna shit on Ice Age.
See,
I love Ice Age. I love Ice Age, but Shrek, bro.
I feel like both of the intended audiences are going to have little to no name recognition on either one of these movies by the time they get it off. Who's watching? Okay, so think about it. What's your target audience for this? It's probably like your 5
nostalgia too. Nostalgia grab as well.
Sure, but you're talking about that's like your niche crowd. Your vast majority of people that are going to go see this are kids, right? So when was the last Shrek movie? When did the last Shrek movie
I would say Puss in Boots, because at the end of Puss in Boots, as they're going to wherever they're going, Puss looks up and says, before we go, I'd like to go see my friends, and the camera pans up and it's far, far away.
Did Shrek pull up?
No,
see Shrek?
It just alludes that he's going to see Shrek.
Shrek Forever came out in 2010. So if we're trying to get 5 to 12-year-olds into this movie, they didn't even see the first Shrek. They weren't alive for it. Or excuse me, the last Shrek. They weren't alive for it.
Moana 2 is making more than Moana 1 because throughout the years, kids have been watching it on streaming.
Also, Moana is a newer title, though. It was introduced closer to when these kids started watching television as opposed to before they were even alive.
And
I
I
don't think that
think
matters.
I also think that parents now are a lot more sensitive to certain things. I don't know that parents now are showing their kids Shrek 1. Shrek
Give
1
me
has a lot of adult jokes that go.
For sure. There is going to be an adult audience for this. I just don't think it's going to be the vast majority. Give me a cartoon that was probably just outside of your age group or just beyond your generation. What's a cartoon?
That's beyond my generation. Like before when I was a kid.
Yep.
I don't know, Transformers.
Okay. Yeah. Transformers,
Yeah.
He-Man was probably like a bit out of our age group just before.
Scooby-Doo
So
was
then-
out of our age group.
Scooby-Doo
They
was
just
still
they
kind of
played
dominated
reruns though.
Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
today's reruns are. Finish your point, Marcus.
I was just gonna say because that's actually it proved itself differently with Scooby-Doo. But for something like Transformers, they didn't make a Transformers movie until the early 2000s off of a show that was in the 80s because they needed that time and that gap to build back up to name recognition. Like Michael Bay doesn't get the multi-million-dollar budget he does to make those films if there isn't some sort of audience in there. So in that 20-year gap that they had in between new episodes of the show and the movie, you have to do something to continue the brand, to make sure you stay in people's consciousness. I don't know if Puss in Boots necessarily does that for sure because he doesn't show up in the property, right? And then Ice Age, they just flat out haven't been around for a while.
Mm-mm.
So it's hard for me to envision the same kids that are watching Moana hop onto the Ice Age train in Ice Age 6.
I definitely don't think the Ice Age train at all. I don't know if I don't know how Ice Age does in the theaters. I think it does fine as well as, again, the nostalgia, but how Ice Age is going to grapple kids, I don't know. I think Shrek has a better chance just because of like what Raymond said there. Shrek is at Universal. They do have the rides. They have him.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Raymond.
You know, the mascot of him out there. There's also, I don't know how many people do or care or follow like creators on YouTube like Balin Levine, the prankster Balin Levine, Cobra Kai. Balin's done a lot more stuff. He's gone a lot further than just when he used to prank people. Anyway, Balin's got over like 300 some million or however many followers, 3 million followers on YouTube. And he is a huge influence on, like, he's got clothes and the stores to all those on YouTube, or not YouTube, the malls and stuff like that. Balin's pretty big, and he is huge on Shrek. And when he went to, he had like a rented out like a theater for fans for Shrek and stuff like that. A lot of people came. There were a lot of, I think Shrek has a better chance than Ice Age. I really don't know what Ice Age does in numbers wise when that shit comes out, because the last one was what, Continental Drift with the grandmother. Yeah, and that was with Wanda Sykes.
I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't going extinct yet.
Yeah, that's I don't
Ice
know
and
how
melt,
that
it is
one
hot.
does.
Which goes
what is
first, Kathleen Kennedy or the animals extinct?
The animals.
The animals go extinct in Ice Age before Kathleen Kennedy leaves.
She's not leaving.
Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, it's that clip from Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. She's not going anywhere.
Okay. Thank you, Raymond, for this. Ice Age has this squirrel that is a meme, and it's also on Disney Plus.
That's true.
The kids today have Disney Plus. There are 365 days in a year, and you can give your kids the Lion King movie, which they all watch as a classic. They all watch The Little Mermaid, and they all watched Shrek 1 also. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
Ew. 2, yes. 3, I tolerate. The 4th one with the magic and a different life, the alternate Fiona, to keep that one. I hate that one. But the second one is honestly my favorite one. That shit with Fairly Godmother. That bitch is funny. That shit is funny.
Yeah, I still think that they'll have a difficult time reintroducing unless they have something in the meantime. This is both productions that's going to come out to remind audiences or to reintroduce to kids who haven't seen it before. I don't think there's a lot of motivation to go back and watch old Shrek movies right now unless you've already watched Shrek. So they don't have a chance to reintroduce to a new audience. They'll basically be riding on the nostalgia of the parents of those children to get them into the theater, which is a gamble to me, man. That's a gamble. Like I what's the choice? I'm going to drag my kid into a children's movie that they don't even really want to see, but it's going to be great for me, or would we just go to a regular family movie that's culturally relevant to today? You know, you're asking a lot. You're asking them to take on faith that this is going to play out. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
One of my things I hope that they don't do is I hope that they don't really stray away from the original tone of Shrek, the thing that made Shrek funny. You know, again, I've said Shrek 1 could never be released today in the way that it was released in 2000, 2002, whenever that came out. Just the jokes, the humor, the stuff like that. I don't see them doing that. But I hope they don't stray away from that. I hope that, you know, this is they brought Cameron Diaz out of fucking retirement for this. So I'm hoping that, you know, everybody's coming back because it was a good script and it's something like, oh, this is good, you know? So I love Shrek. I love, especially the first two. So I hope that's good.
I think it looks cool too. And I agree with you, Raymond. Kids are going to go to what looks good. I just know that what looks good to us doesn't necessarily have that same intersection with them. Right?
Us born in the year 2000s, huh?
Yes. What would you say?
Because Cornelia said we're born in the year 2000. This guy was born.
Well,
I don't know
you
if he
know,
means-
the hell, born in the year 2000.
No.
Oh, you pointing at Darius? I'm about to say Jesus.
No, I'm
not.
He wrote it. Cornelius
I'm
wrote
a
it.
90s
Oh,
kid.
yeah, what they say. You said you was 25 the other night, right, for your birthday? Isn't that-
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a 90s kid.
Born in the year 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not giving you my
25.
age, but I was born before the year 2000. So
well before.
Next super chat comes from Buck's Thoughts for $4.99. I actually don't have one that says $4.99. I got ones that say $5, but not $4.99. We weren't ready.
Raymond.
I think that they can keep both, and Feige takes over Lucasfilms. He's got to prove it with the.
Yeah,
what is the next
I don't
movies
wanna
right now?
put anything on his plate that doesn't need to be there.
Because he's telling them, oh, too much output. Chapek made us make so much TV shows, and that's why we've been this way. We're going to focus more on quality now. Okay, fine. You don't get to do Star Wars either.
Y'all want another hot take?
Yeah.
Hot take. When Chapek was going to overhaul the menu at Marvel, it was what they needed, and it would have been in 10 times better shape than what it is today if they had let him do what he was doing. Now, I don't know anything about this fudging the numbers with the streaming shit. Too smart for me. But in terms of what he had planned to do at Marvel, in terms of releasing, in terms of what titles they were going to push towards the forefront, half of the stuff that happened at Lucasfilm, or excuse me, at Marvel in the last 3 years would have never happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take.
That's my take too.
I'm trying to tell you, Raymond, if he'd have got his hands on it and refocused back to male title brands or male titled IPs, we wouldn't have gotten She-Hulk, right? We more than likely wouldn't have gotten Kamala Khan.
Agatha.
Agatha would have never happened. Right? There's no way that he's letting Chloe Zhao walk in and make fun of some YouTuber that nobody knew before you got up and start screaming at him on your show, or at least the general public didn't know about him. YouTubers knew about Doomcock, but a lot of the general public didn't know about him. That type of stuff wouldn't have been written into series.
Who was arguing with Doomcock?
That was Chloe Zhao and their writing team.
It might not be Chloe Zhao. That might be the Eternals director, but I may be wrong.
Jessica Gao. I'm sorry. You're
Jessica
right.
Gao.
Jessica
Chloe
Gao was Eternals. You're right.
Yes. Chloe Zhao was Eternals. Jessica Gao was She-Hulk.
Yep.
Jessica Gao was. I don't remember that. That's funny. I did. Oh, there's been some mess over there at the Marvel Studios.
I have to disagree with you, brother. I have to disagree with you. I think they had gotten to their Lucasfilm bag, and that led them to promoting lesser known characters with weak scripts. And I think once he saw that that's where the ball was rolling, he wanted to adjust out of that. Now, did we need 3 or 4 shows a year from Marvel? Probably not. That's probably a little bit too much output, and that probably would have corrected itself. But the things that we were showing you, we would have gotten Daredevil a lot sooner. It wouldn't have taken online sentiment to kick him into gear to make the show that was on Netflix. You wouldn't have had to get drug online to come to that conclusion. All right. I'm not saying Chapek was perfect, but the Game of Thrones-esque way he did up out of there was always suspicious. And now that we've seen the type of output from Bob Iger after the fact, after he was removed, I have to say, I think it might have been better to stick on the course that we were on.
Chapek's era is when Deadpool and Wolverine was announced. We finally got a movie like that. He knew what he was doing when it came to that. I can't say this on stream. Remind me afterwards, Marcus, of my theory of
I got you.
Bob Iger, Bob Chapek. It was always a plan to go the way that it went. Michael Nemo talks about he got the $5. He says, everyone go check out the new Milestone comic book, Shadow Cabinet. Showmonger did collect the first couple of them, and I didn't go to the shop this week. But Michael, since you friend of the channel, big supporter, I'm planning something for Milestone, and I want you to be part of the video. Where can I reach you? Because I got back of the bus Josh to do something. I'm going to ask these two also to be part of it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what it is, right, guys? No? Okay. I got Josh to do it earlier today. Michael, you're going to be part of it. If you would like to be on camera, so let me know. Okay? No one else, though. Only Michael. Everyone else can wait your turn. But you're going to be in a Chillmonger YouTube video, Michael. Okay.
Damn, I forgot about Black Widow. You probably shouldn't even have brought that one up. That was... Yeah. Strange. Doctor Strange 2 was good, but that wasn't female focused. Thor was trash. Thor 5 was awful. Hawkeye was so-so. Moon Knight was so-so, but also not female.
Hawkeye episode 3 was good. Everything else sucked.
What If was garbage.
Trash.
Secret
Garbage.
Invasion was also garbage.
It should have never been made.
You said those were all horrible. Yeah, I guess I'll okay, so if I take the female focus off of it, can I just say that the characters that were chosen were a weak set of characters to try to carry the MCU? If we take the female part off of it, I happen to think that was a pretty distinct reason why it failed, is because you're trying to force an unfamiliar gender dynamic to customers who are used to something different. But even if we take that off of it, they were still weak characters. Right? Like Kamala Khan is not going to usher you into the mutant phase. That's just not going to be a thing. I don't know who thought of that.
This isn't going to usher you into the mutant phase?
I'm on my 8th summer, still hot, young's the 8th wonder. All I do is get bread, yeah, I take wonder.
No.
$5 super chat, Michael Nemo. In 77, I had to wait till 1980 for Empire Strikes Back, and then another 3 years for Jedi. The franchise was kept alive by comics and magazines and Christmas specials. Well, here's the thing. Think that way. Disney has all of these properties, and every one of these properties could be like taking years off in between if they just knew how to do it. Like, we can wait every 4 years for a Black Panther. We can wait another 3 years and start missing Thor before we get another Thor or another Spider-Man. They have the ability to make us wait there. Then the Star Wars world, they can make us wait also 3 years between big movies starring Mandalorian with Pedro Pascal and everything. They're just not doing that. They're giving us slop, Secret Invasion, What If, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is not going to perform for a reason.
I mean,
I'll be seated for that one.
For Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Oh, you might as well watch Wakanda Forever too, then, bro. Go ahead, do it up.
I'm not watching Wakanda Forever, but I do want to see.
Forever. Eyes of Wakanda. Sorry.
I do want to see their little comic book style that they're doing.
Y'all have fun. Again, I would have loved to have seen She-Hulk under different circumstances with a writer who cared about, like, I don't know, law or practicing law or law scenes, anything that has to do with lawyers. You know, I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen her apply some of that to the MCU, filling in some of those real world gaps, right? When they talk about making the universe feel like the world outside, that's what I think of, right? Introduce the aspects of these people's lives that we never really touch, see, or talk about. Like, what are they doing when they're not fighting? They have legal trouble because of the damage that they've caused throughout New York, because everybody fights in New York. Who's the lawyer that they most often go to? That is a whole angle that went completely untouched in that series for no other reason that they were uninterested in writing court scenes.
Will Daredevil explore that?
I hope so. I hope so.
For sure. Yeah.
If I were them,
Frank's on trial, and we'll see the trial.
I would work that in there. If I were them, I don't know where this is happening chronologically, but you maybe sneak in a little scene in there from when he popped in on Peter. Maybe he has to check back. Well, no, he doesn't remember Peter. Can't even do that. Doesn't remember Peter. I was gonna say maybe he checks up on Peter after the aftermath of No Way Home. He literally doesn't remember him. So,
but there was that theory that people had about Daredevil when that whole thing about him not remembering the spell, or the spell being cast, Daredevil being who Daredevil is, having the abilities he has, may be able to sense the familiarity of Peter. That was just the theory that was out there.
Peter can still tell you. That's why he didn't tell Michelle and Ned when he was at the coffee shop.
You can tell me. That doesn't mean I'm going to believe you. You can tell me anything.
That's right.
He can tell you what his name is. He can reintroduce himself. And to
Daredevil,
Daredevil,
spark the memory that was magically supposed to be blanketed or whatever.
It might not spark the memory, but he doesn't really need Daredevil to fall in love with him. He just needs Daredevil to know, I'm Peter, I'm the superhero. So, like, moving forward, we can help each other. So it's not like love. Michelle and Ned, it's a love situation. It's you guys are about to be my friends forever, and he's not doing that. Michelle, never mind. Let's get back to Daredevil. Trailer came out. Okay, I'm not mad at it. Don't have any strong thoughts on anything about it. It's a trailer. Now, Daredevil is one of the new shows, the newest of the shows that they've announced. That and Wonder Man. And then after that, we really don't know what is coming out of them when it comes to TV show, live action TV shows. We expect an X-Men 97, which we know doesn't have Bo DeMayo, so we don't expect it to be good. We know Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's coming. What if it's over, but we might get the Exiles animated show for 3 seasons?
Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies is coming.
The audacity for them to make something like Marvel Zombies when the franchise is in the shape that it's in. Just the sheer arrogance. What would make you think that Marvel Zombies would be successful right now?
And it's a continuation from the What If Marvel Zombies.
That's terrible. It's terrible.
It is.
I don't know who's making decisions. You're not in healthy enough shape to do stuff like that.
It just gets real when we get to Fantastic Four, in my opinion. I'm obviously, as far as TV shows go, you've got Born Again, but when it comes to those movies, that Fantastic Four film, I think that's where they're going to have to really show why they deserve everyone's attention for the next 2 Avengers films, because some casuals were even saying that nobody's looking forward really even to the next Avengers films.
They're going to have to do something to ramp back up excitement. Now, Daredevil can do some work to get them there. Daredevil is already an established IP. That's why it made more sense to lean into what was already established on Netflix, right? It does have the potential to reignite the audience. The trailer, I'll side more with Chill. It was good. Like, I don't think I've seen anything in
The
there.
Daredevil trailer?
Yeah, I didn't.
That
see
was great. I
anything-
thought it was good.
Yeah, but it was great in terms of what great Daredevil is, which was established.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't way better. I didn't see anything in there that I didn't expect to see. John Bernthal's in there. He looks like he's breaking some bones. People gonna be bleeding. I will say this though, the feel that they gave me that it was going to be a turn from your classic MCU television show is the same way I felt when we were watching previews of Moon Knight. Right? I really thought at that point when we were watching Moon Knight that something was going to be different about how the violence was carried out on screen. And to date, Falcon and Winter Soldier is the closest to seeing actual, like, real violence. Like, we were seeing the characters' light go out of their eyes when they die. Somebody's broken their neck. Somebody was beaten to death. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just the cutaway violence. If they back off of that at all, in the slightest bit, because I mean, you've already committed. You've gotten all the characters from the old iteration. You have Punisher in the first season of this thing, so you're committed. If you back off even the slightest bit, you can destroy what people were lining up to see this for.
We got K. Ojo. He's from North Carolina. If I had a white teacher. Hi. Are y'all talking about Neil Gaiman too? I know about Neil Gaiman. I saw the story, and he's got women accusing he was taking advantage of them. I don't.
Neil Gaiman. Who's Neil Gaiman? What's going on there?
What did he write? Watchmen, was it?
Gotcha.
He's a writer, and all right,
he's being accused nasty things.
Accused of it. I wasn't there. Not to discredit also the women who are saying it. It's if it happened, like I'm for justice.
Gotcha.
I just don't know enough. It's not like the Jonathan Majors case. I'm not. Maybe I've branded myself that way, but bro, we had the club video. We had so much for Jonathan Majors.
People were much more invested in that story for sure. Whew. Trying to power through.
Another super chat.
Chocolate ring. Dirty secrets of economy. Chocolate ring.
Thank you for the $2 super chat, Michael Nemo, for the chocolate rain
mashup with random.
Where was Echo in the DD trailer? Said no one. No, I'll say it, Michael. This took place in New York. Marvel is a cinematic universe. If this character mattered, and if the things that happen in her show are supposed to have ramifications, I want to hear Kingpin mention it as he's sitting in the dining room. In the diner.
Yeah, the last time we saw Kingpin in the MCU, he was getting thrown through a building or something like that. Oh no, that was Hawkeye. So we saw him again in Echo. I didn't watch Echo, so I don't know what happened in that.
So no, Michael, we do say where is Echo, and I'll watch the show. I haven't none of the 5 episodes, but I'll watch the show if I'm supposed to watch.
Why
the
would
show.
he bring up Echo though? With the way that the show. Yeah, but with the way that the show ended, where his position and Echo's position, she wanted shit for shit to do with him, and he's now mayor. He had a whole campaign. But while I'm sitting here talking to you, let me mention to you about Echo.
He'll say, "How did you know I was here if you're blind?" I heard the echo. That reminds me.
No. No.
See, at this point, Echo's supposed to be getting looped into missions with, is it Hydra or the Hand?
The Hand.
It's the Hand. Yeah, she starts supposed to be doing missions as Ronin for the Hand, and they're supposed to go and save her. Well, that's the new Avengers run. That's Michael business. But that's an arc that I would entertain for Echo if she just went rogue and took over the Ronin title, because Hawkeye isn't going to assume it back anytime soon. So I would be intrigued by that storyline, especially if it ran into what's going on with Murdoch in the first season of Born Again, for sure.
Yeah, the stuff with Muse looks like it's gonna be great. He looks great. Looks like it's going to tonally be a very good show. Completely different from what they were going to do. Because, originally we weren't going to see this man in the suit.
If they believe in it like that, then they should propagate this. It should be tied into the very next project we see on Disney Plus. Like Daredevil should, if it's a street level villain or excuse me, hero that we're showing, Daredevil should pop up. It's a good way to keep that momentum going. You know what I mean?
Would you rather get Daredevil or Hawk? That wasn't a serious question.
Yeah, I know it was a shot, so I was just sitting here trying not to answer it.
It would be incredulous to have an incredible Hawk movie. You would hit me with the osteoporosis and then you mispronounce the word.
Crazy. Osteoporosis when you're trying to say a big word is nuts.
The corporate oligarchies. Daniel RPK, he also announced a Strange Academy television series coming out. He says that's cooking. That's Nova is coming, Strange Academy is coming, and what was the other one? He reported one more other thing. I believe him, and I also don't believe him because I know that sometimes they'll pull out feelers.
The other one was Shang-Chi 2.
Shang-Chi 2, that's a movie that's coming. I believe that one totally, and that's probably because the Chinese situation that they had, which only allowed the first movie to make a few dollars, It's probably resolved, and it will be able to air in China, and they'll market it to a Chinese audience, and they'll make lots of money. Probably
She
more.
made $800 million, right?
No,
it didn't. What did it make?
4.
Okay,
I'll find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of kid stuff that's rumored. Wait a minute. Oh wow. Okay, 4:30. There's a lot of kid stuff that's rumored to be, coming out in the next phase. Obviously, the X-Men are going to be younger, or rumored to be younger. No, they're going to be younger because Sadie Sane is already cast as Jean Grey, so they're going to be a younger set there. They got the Champions thing, that whole angle that they're working with Kamala Khan and Kate Bishop and Yelena, or not Yelena, all of the younger heroes, which is going to start to get a little awkward because you're going to have a bunch of 30-year-olds playing high schoolers.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling the champions now, right?
Yeah, I don't want that to be the thing. Again, this is where we messed up before. We had not female, but less desirable characters trying to drive the bus coming out of a big epic crescendo, right? You had Endgame. They teased this a little bit. They had Wanda, they had Paul Bettany, kind of acting like they was about to stay around, and they disappeared. And then they had Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan was like, oh no, they go, they part of the OG team, man. And then they had their show and they disappeared for 4 years or 3 years, however long it was. Right? Like none of the mainstay characters that we expected to drive us into this new phase of the MCU were really that present. I don't want them to put this on the back of a bunch of MCU kids, not actual kids, but kids in the MCU.
She's 22 now. She might be 25 when they start filming it.
I think
no, I mean not actual age, but like portrayal. Like the characters are kids, champions. Now we got the young X-Men, and we got young Valeria Richards and Franklin Richards. It's like it's them trying to reestablish the preteen and teen audience as the driving force, the same way that they try to do with women in phase 5, right? Like, stop trying to reorganize the fan base. Fan base is what it is. Now, if you want more female characters, there are better ones to choose than She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. No disrespect to Iman Vellani. I think she's been great, but there's better ways to go. Yeah, better ways to go.
Cynthia Erivo's character, Storm.
No. Give me the Wanda. I'll take the Wanda Wise for Storm.
She's like 40.
Don't care.
Okay.
Look 25 to me.
The thing with a 40-year-old is she's going to be a 50-year-old. They plan to go a very long time. They don't want to end the franchise soon.
You go look at a picture of DeWanda Wise and you tell me at what point in the near future she looks like she's going to be starting to look old.
All right, got it. Copy that.
I'll take it. Also, but if you feel like that's too big of an issue, there's also the Gotham chick, not Gotham, the Batman, the mayor of Gotham.
Jamie Lawson.
Is that her name?
It might not be.
Showed up in the Penguin as well. I like her a lot.
Yeah, her name's Jamie Lawson.
And she's what, 28? She could do it. I just no, maybe I want them to go the young route and think that, oh look, we're set for the next 20 years. And I'm going, no, reboot. Fire every single actor you have playing every single character and just recast the whole thing. Reboot, start from phase 0, and that'll be a much more healthier, and we'll get a T'Challa back. It'll be a much more, yeah, she is a healthier.
Taste, Michael Nemo.
Michael, where did you email me? Because I just refreshed my account and I don't get an email. Just find me on Twitter or find me on Instagram and just DM me there. And if your name is Michael Nemo, I'll believe you. DeWanda Wise is about the age range of most of our favorite T'Challa fan casts.
Aldous is in his 40s.
Aldous Hodge is 38, I remember.
Is he? Okay, so just about 40. Yolanda Well is younger than that, but I think he would probably be the only one that's way out of her age range if that was to be the pairing. No, Damson, but reportedly turned down.
Yeah, and Strange Academy is another one of those young people's shows. It's something that is sparked in the comics 3 years ago, and when that first issue came out, it was a collector's item because the rumor was Marvel's going to adapt it to a TV show. Well, according to this Daniel RPK new rumor, they've already decided it. They will be filming it in 2026. Crazy. Shout out to everyone who's got a Strange Academy issue number 1. It's the first appearance of many of these characters who will appear there. Good for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, hope it works. I don't feel like they've done or showed any unless it's going to be at Shangri-La. I don't see where they're going to make a Strange Academy. It surely isn't going to be at the Sanctum Sanctorum in the middle of New York, because when was that ever established?
Secret Wars.
Yeah, you just gonna start the show with the Sanctum Sanctorum being a school? Like that's not a thing. We're not doing that.
And the vibe I got from I was just reading about the comments in Reddit. No one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares. Where people cared years ago about a Strange Academy, like Chill was talking about, that has died.
Yeah, I think they cared about the comic. I don't know if they necessarily cared that much about a live action adaptation.
Yeah, no one cares.
It would be nice to get Brother Voodoo though, but again, now we got to introduce Brother Voodoo as a teacher instead of a sorcerer first and then a teacher.
They would love that.
They would love that.
People bypass him being Sorcerer Supreme and
just go past all of that. Go past all of that.
We got Brother Voodoo who might appear here as a teacher there, which will be something. Of course, it's not a lead character representation, but it's something. We got fan castings of Damson. I don't know. Maybe he might say no to that. Unless it came with a film. So Brother,
it would have to be somebody who's close to age in Benedict Cumberbatch, right? I don't think they would play it off that, have that much of an age difference.
I think they would. I think they're saying you're next. You're the next master of the mystic arts, sanctum leader. What do you call it?
That could work. The Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, you're out, Doctor Strange, Bennett, or it's Wong technically. You're out, and we got young blood to replace you. So they're mapping out the next 15 years. So they would get somebody younger.
See, I actually think that balancing off of Cumberbatch, I think Coleman Domingo would be a great casting for Brother Voodoo. I think he would be great. I think that the kind of conflict that a character like Baron Mordo presented to Stephen Strange, it would be kind of the same with Brother Voodoo, only not from a antagonistic place. It would be more so from like a judgment from your peers. I think he would be able to kind of critique Strange and some of the decisions that he's made. Because if you notice, every time Strange is challenged about doing things wrong, about his relationship with the doctor chick, I can't remember her name right now, Amy Adams' character, him giving the time stone up to Thanos, like he's always just kind of rebuffed people with those decisions because he's like, I'm the only one that knows this shit. I'm the only one that can make that decision. Get out my face is basically what I took from it. Well, you're not going to say that to Brother Voodoo. And so if he comes to you and says, oh, well, you did this, that, and the third wrong. You put the whole entire reality at risk. You did this, that, and the third wrong. You should have did this with Peter instead of, erasing everybody's mind. That's something that actually, that's a criticism he has to listen to. It's from a peer.
Whatever source you have for the Strange Academy piece of news is wrong. There's no Strange Academy. Well, that's Daniel RPK who told us that, and I believe it. I believe they will create a set, and they will use this set for the Doctor Strange movies, and when he shows up in Avengers, they'll also use the same set for Strange Academy. So they double up on it, they make the most out of it, and they can just film somewhere. I think that's the smart choice. I don't know.
He said there's only Doom Academy because I think Doom took it over. Yeah.
I'm also certain folks in the Marvel leaks on Reddit aren't true comic fans because some of the stuff they be saying is questionable. Disney spreading the production of Strange Academy to comply with HBO because Harry Potter series is coming.
Ooh, that's not they love to copy each other.
To comply, or do you mean to compete with HBO?
Compete. I think he put it in there in the chat. He corrected it.
Strange is going to die in Secret Wars like in Hickman's story, and Brother Voodoo becomes Sorcerer Supreme. So a younger actor
gotta introduce Brother Voodoo though. It's like he's gonna get introduced and replace Stephen Strange in the same movie. It's just that mantle swap shit. I thought we were done with that after Victoria Alonso left.
The way I think about it is that Benedict Cumberbatch signed a 6-picture deal, and if we come back to the negotiating table, he'll do what Tom Holland is doing to us and asking for $20 million per movie. We can't do that. We don't need you that much.
It's strange that type of character that, like, if you don't bring him back, the health of the MCU is going to be at risk. Because I believe that about Chris Evans. I believe that about Robert Downey Jr. Cumberbatch.
It depends. I mean, I would have said maybe yes if Cumberbatch would have been the central main character of his own second film, and we actually maybe felt something with Steven. The last time I really felt something with Strange was Infinity War. But I do really like Benedict as Stephen Strange, but I think also too it's yet to be seen on how he performs with Downey. You know, a lot of that stuff with him, between him and Tony Stark in Infinity War, was off script. But that Benedict just recently talked about, you know, RDJ would go off script and then Benedict would just bounce off of him. Now we're going to see that dynamic of him as Doom and him as Strange. So I think it really depends on his performance too here to see what people are going to be like. You know, are the general audience going to want to let go of Benedict after his new performance with RDJ as Doom? And if so, I don't know. I feel like if it's a reboot, doesn't everyone need to go?
No, it'll probably be annoying like James Gunn too. Whoever they like the most on the roster will get to keep their character or play another character, and then everybody else will be gone.
Who would reboot? Just use the word reboot in the live chat. Because I would. Like, Secret Wars happens.
Oh, I would hard reboot after Secret Wars.
Oh, yeah, I would. That's why I said shouldn't everybody go, because I would hard reboot after Secret Wars.
Yep. Thank you. We're all on the same page. Just goodbye to everything. It was a great run. 2008 to 2028. Oh my, what an amazing story we told. And bye. That's all we were good.
Now, if you do an encouragement, you have to pick one person who knows. Right? So if you have somebody who stayed around and is playing another character, you got to let them, they have to know what was in the old, because like that was a tether to the Ultimate Universe. That's
what they're saying Steven is going to be in this new universe.
Oh, he's
rumor is that Steven is going to be the one that's going to be like, oh, you're this guy.
I'm on what Rogue Comics is on. If I'm Kevin Feige, I bring Amy Pascal in and be like, look, I'm gonna throw you a bone. But after this, anytime I want Tom over here, I don't want to hear Pete. Anytime I want Tom over here to do something for something we got going on, I don't want to hear anything from you. But I'll help you out. How about we make the link between the old universe and the new a kid who was a human being in the old universe, but then after Peter Parker's erasure of everybody knowing about Spider-Man, someone else tried to step into that role, or somebody else assumed that position. Live action Miles. Live action Miles. You introduce them in Secret Wars. They start making live action movies over at Sony with Miles, so they don't have to be so, oh my God, if we don't do Spider-Man movies, we're going to fail as a company, right? Throw them a bone. Introduce live action Miles in Secret Wars or Doom Wars, one of those. Or Doomsday, excuse me. Doomsday or Secret Wars. And then let her take that torch on with Miles while you play with Peter. Pause. That's what I would do. This whole Stephen Strange thing, I feel like people are trying to make us like Benedict Cumberbatch a little bit more than we actually do. I think he's a very good actor. He's very talented. His movies are good. I just don't know if we've fallen for him the same way we did for RDJ or Chris Evans. So if I had to choose it being a new character that we have a chance to get to know in this new universe that we build, or a holdover from the last universe, the Begotten Age, let's move forward.
I don't need that, like a Begotten Age or the last vestige of that era. I mean, start from zero. No one ever mentions it. If you want to do a crossover, I don't know, Crisis Secret Wars event, but when the two universes, the old one and the new one, they got them back. I guess you could do that when you could film your stuff now, though, so that Robert Downey isn't 80
years old when they do it.
Be like, yo, listen, Robert, we know that somewhere down the line where there's going to be a crossover. So here, shoot your lines, say a couple things, and we'll make a movie out of it. We'll let the guys who edit it 20 years from now, we haven't even met them yet, but they'll edit this up, shoot, and you do your thing. I would just start over. It's been a long run, and you can get your characters back, Bo. You can get Black Panther, Captain America, and Iron Man back.
Start from the beginning, start fresh. You can tell all new story arcs. You can start the clock back again.
Yeah.
Like I would be, if I was Kevin Feige, I would be drooling at the prospect of rebooting this thing, because now you're not beholden to those expectations. You don't have to fix stuff. You don't have to, you can start from scratch. You can hit the redo button on a lot of this stuff.
You can hire a 28-year-old version of all of these superheroes, and these actors would be willing to sign their effing lives away. And
I don't like it when you talk about it like that. It gets less attractive when you talk about it like that. Because I still don't think it's advantageous for the individual to sign a deal like that. You're just going to end up holding out and trying to renegotiate in the middle of it anyways.
No, you won't.
Right? You will, because the science is already established, right? They're trying to put you on that 10-year deal because they're trying to get value.
Why would it be a 10-year deal?
What would it be? What do you
20-year deal?
You think in that?
Yeah, I think there's a 28-year-old alive today going, I can try my best at Hollywood and see what the market or this superhero deal could get me. I'll still be getting a lot of money for doing these superhero movies. I still will be, and my popularity will allow me to ask for more money in different. I see Cornelius's comment. That's why I stopped.
20 years is egregious. That's no one's ever going to sign a 20-year deal to do anything.
Then I don't want you.
And unless it's like company to company. There's no individual that's going to sign up 20 years of their life and guarantee it to a corporation.
28-year-olds.
I wouldn't suggest anybody do that.
There is an actor who's 28 years old who will do it. Darius, what were you saying?
But why would you want them to do that, Chill? By the time they hit year 8, they're going to be severely underpaid.
I don't want them to be severely. I don't want to be severely underpaid. Getting paid $4 million because it's your 4th movie is not severely underpaid.
No, for the general public, no, it's not. But for their fellow actors, it might be.
And when then they go to another studio and they say, in between my commitments with Marvel, I can do this movie over here at this
But
studio.
why would I invest that much money into you if you can't be for me what you are to Marvel? You're signed to a 20-year deal over there, so obviously a lot of your time is taken up. Why the hell would I pay you more than Marvel is paying you if you can't do more work for me than you're doing for Marvel?
You can do a movie in between. Not every movie is in a
Why
cinematic
would I pay
universe.
you more than what Marvel is paying you for a movie?
Because I'm a star and I can bring
No,
eyes.
the hell with you. Ain't nobody tell you to sign that deal. You want to get some money off of me and then keep your 20-year deal with Disney. And that's how people would treat them. Because they don't have any incentive to balance out the lack of income they're getting with one studio and then get it from another. They don't care. Not nice people.
That's totally wrong. Tom Holland signed 6 years, 6 pictures. He's getting paid $10 million to do Spider-Man No Way Home. When he was cast as Nathan Drake, when he was cast in every other thing he was doing, he was coming with the leverage he has because he plays Spider-Man. I can bring awareness to this movie franchise.
You know, all those movies are with the same studio, right? Nathan Drake is also Sony, so there's no renegotiating. There's no pay me more because I'm Spider-Man. Nathan Drake was with he did another Sony movie too outside of Spider-Man, but it's the same. It's the same company.
Being the same company is irrelevant to the point I'm making.
No, it's not. You said some other company will compensate the lack of funds he's getting out of this bad deal with Disney because he's Spider-Man.
Marvel Studios or Sony Marvel versus the new film franchise that he's doing, his new gig. That's the different company that I mean. It's, I guess, if they could both be under the Sony umbrella. But this brand new deal, I'm Tom Holland. You want me to do Uncharted? I will do Uncharted. How much is that? No, that's not my number. They're gonna say, but we know we're only paying you this. They're not gonna say, we know you're only getting paid this much for Spider-Man. You're right. That's because I signed that thing when I was a teenager. Now, yesterday's price is not today's price. So I will be.
You're demonstratively wrong. That's not how American corporations work. You don't bully them into giving you more money because you don't have a lot. That's not leverage. Me saying, "Oh, I'm Spider-Man," and then saying, "Oh, but they're only paying me this because I signed it with 14." Well, that's just you signing a bad deal. That's your market value. What you are paid is your value. You don't get to tell people it's more than what it actually is because you feel like you're worth more. No, it's what you're being paid. That is your value.
So he'll say no to Uncharted, or he could say no to Uncharted, and then he'll just be doing another movie in between Homecoming and Far From Home, or Far From Home and No Way Home.
Very pretty scenario where everything just kind of works
reality
out.
Though. Like people are doing movies outside of their Marvel roles.
Where does this exist? Because the reason why they're able to do movies outside of their Marvel role and get paid a shitload of cash is because they don't let Marvel dictate what their value is. They don't sign a 20-year deal where now whatever Marvel is paying me, that is my going rate. Why would I ever, as a competing studio, pay you more unless I'm paying you to get out of that deal and come with me? But I'm not paying you as a part-time addition to my studio more than what your full-time employer is paying you, because again, that is your value. That's what you're worth.
That's your value. That's what you're worth. That's how you think of things, Marcus. And
yesterday's price can be yesterday's price when you're not under contract. He's talking about signing a 20-year deal. So how, unless he's just going to up and stop working for Marvel altogether, unless he's willing to leverage that, that is the only leverage he gets. But he comes out of that with nothing. If you're signing your life away, as you said, for 20 years, what leverage do you have to come back and renegotiate?
We disagree here. We've talked it out. Appreciate the banter. Yeah. Who do you side with? Chillmonger or Marcus? Put an ice emoji for chill. Put an M for Marcus.
I like my boy Village Brother.
There's a 20-year deal. There would be a non-compete clause. They will be severely underpaid is correct.
Like the 20-year deal itself is the non-compete clause. The fact that you have to be employed by this company for 20 years in itself is a non-compete clause.
I'll change the way I say things. It will last for 20. You'll be a Marvel actor for 20 years. Look at this guy just sipping on the drink like this is fun. Where do you wait? Before I say what I'm going to say, where do you stand right now? Are you like on anyone's side right now? No.
Unmute yourself. There you go.
What Marcus says on his side, I'm not on a side, but that side makes the more sense. I wouldn't sign a 20-year
You on my side,
deal
man. Just
and
pick
be-
me.
Okay.
and be beholden to a contract like that.
A contract that says you will be the star of our new movie. You're Spider-Man. You're Peter Parker. You're a teenager. Shout out to you, teenager.
If I can do other movies,
You're
there's going to be if that non-compete clause is in there, then no, I can't do other movies. And
you just can't compete with DC. You can't join Warner Brothers and do a superhero there. Other than that, you're allowed to play any character you want to do. But you're going to be our Spider-Man. What would you say?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what would you say?
I would say it's a $1 million for the first Spider-Man movie, $2 million for the second,
That's what I was gonna say. So like you get the total number for the contract together and make it a sliding scale. So like you said, maybe he makes 500,000 to $1 million for the first, and by the time we're in our 5th or 6th appearance, he's making $4 or $5 million a pop. See, that feels a little bit, or even more than that. Maybe it makes its way all the way up to 10 by the last appearance. But that makes more sense in terms of signing a long-term deal.
That is
now
a long-term deal.
We're anticipating growth. We're anticipating paying you more because we think the franchise is going to be successful. But a flat rate for 20 years.
When did I say flat rate?
Well, we didn't really establish it. That's why we're talking about it now. We never really established what the paying scale was going to be. It would have to be one that increases as the output increases, to be fair.
So you guys better take back your M's right now because M is now with me. It's an increasing rate.
No. We were just talking things out. As it was originally standing, is it good to sign a 20-year deal? No, I don't think that's good for the individual.
I think you got to sign a deal that says you're going to be the star in this much movies. It's a five movies, and we got a increasing pay for that. We also need you to show up in, let's say, 6 TV shows. We'll let you know ahead of time. You'll definitely have like a year in advance because we know what we're doing here. Road comics with the We'll definitely give you these TV shows. And then there's the cameo appearances where we just want you there for the weekend. You'll be working for we don't know yet, but there's probably going to be let's say 5 of those,
See, that's another thing that you're bringing up, right? If we sign it for 20 years, maybe I can write that in a way that I can effectively get infinite work from you in that time period. If we don't define how many appearances it is, how many appearances in a year we do, right? Like if we don't put any type of parameters around that, I could just have you in everything, just back and forth.
You will have rights. I will give you a lot of notice of when we want you doing these appearances and these movies, but it's like 5 leads, 5 times you're a supporting actor, 5 times we just need you to cameo. Those 15 appearances that you have in the new MCU will take you 20 years. They're good.
There's a good place to end it. They're telling us to wrap it up. Put the fries in the bag, buddy. Put the fries in the bag.
If you say a 20-year deal is slavery, and we know that Chris Hemsworth starting with these guys in 2011, and he's still with them. He'll be in a movie next year. Robert Downey, he's in a movie coming up next year and the year after in Secret Wars. That would be 19 years for him, right?
Do you believe that Chris Hemsworth got paid the same amount for every appearance that he had in Thor?
I believe he got paid more and more each time. And when the first contract came to an ending, which had multiple pictures on it, he came to the negotiation table and he said, I'm Chris Hemsworth and I'm allowed to ask for more. And they go, you're right. You are Chris Hemsworth and you're allowed to ask for more. They didn't say, well, your market because what we paid you last time was. He doesn't get to say that.
Well, he's also not under contract.
Then don't get these guys under contract. Then don't get these guys off of contract. Know that you're gonna be you're gonna have Thor for a 20-year period.
Individuals, man. Like these people we talking about. I know that we want them to be around for the content that we're watching.
Yes, I do, and I want them to be paid millions too. I'm not oppressing anybody. They're gonna be getting paid lots of money, but we'll never have to stop in between the decades and being like, oh yeah, we gotta sign Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson's asking for how much? Damn,
that's
all right, let's
business,
do it.
Man. People are always going to want more money. Businesses are always going to try to find a way to cut costs. That is the nature of business. They're never not going to do that. And trying to put them in a deal that limits their mobility into other positions is something. It's just not. I don't think that's the way.
Is it limiting your mobility if you're still going to be getting $5 million? You've been playing a superhero for
Because
5 years.
What if actors in my position now are making $8 million instead of 5? Now I have to stick at 5 because I signed this stupid deal that takes me through the decade of inflation that I might have at my position.
You had a choice when you started your career, and there is an actor who will take that.
Right. Do you not understand how a decision in the beginning of your career may not look the same or play out the way that you wanted it to in the middle?
You could
Like,
put wording
you
in
get
there
that,
that
right?
says adjusted for inflation, the average price of bread multiplied by blah blah blah. You can make sure that it'll be a fair compensation, and like, you know, if the economy
Who
hits
determines what's fair?
you, because you're signing a contract that you don't have to
No,
sign
not for
until
the
you
little
sign it.
Right. What's fair to me is that I work, I come back, we renegotiate for more work. That's what's fair to me. That's what's ultimately fairest for the worker. I do a job, we come back and talk about the next job, and then we agree on a payment for that. That's what's fairest. What you're talking about works best for the studio and probably
Yes.
for the viewer, for the watcher,
Yes.
not for the actual person who has to do it.
Just because it doesn't work best for the actor, it doesn't mean it's not working for the actor. That actor's gonna be world famous. He's gonna be a millionaire, and he can still get money
Oh
from
my
other
God.
studios.
This is okay. Trading them fame for their life is not a square deal.
Fame equates to a lot of appearances at conventions. Fame equates to your ability to tell another movie like, hey, in between these 2 Marvel appearances, I'm free to do another movie. And they say, yeah, oh my God, we can get the Captain America actor. Let's use him, and we'll pay him a good amount.
If those projects don't line up in a way that allows you to record that project, then what happens?
Why wouldn't it allow you to record it? Like, how long did it take to film a movie? 6 months?
Not chill. They're conflicting companies. I don't have to set up my movie over here at Universal so that Dickie McGee over there can act in my film and your film. Choose. Like I don't work for Disney.
You don't know.
If I'm Universal,
You're not on set for your whole
if
life.
I'm Warner Brothers, I don't take time to work my schedule around Disney's recording schedule because of an actor. We'll move on to someone else.
You, as the actor who knows you have January, February, March, and April and May free, you know you have that, so you go, hey, this is my availability.
And I have to
what
take
are the
whatever
movies?
is available in that time slot.
You gotta let me
I
finish
can
this
only take what's available to me at that point. No studio is going to say, oh man, Chillmonger actually has, he's got that 20-year deal with Disney. So I guess we got to move the whole production to fall so that we're not in Disney's filming window.
If an actor is big enough, the studios will talk to them and they'll find a way to get the movie filmed when the actor is free. And a superhero actor is big enough.
You're talking about a very limited class, and every superhero, every person who plays a superhero doesn't get that treatment. Just being a superhero, playing a superhero doesn't get you the type of treatment that's going to get opposing studios to work their schedules around you. Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks, right? Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, Viola Davis. Maybe like a list of 20 people out of thousands of actors in Hollywood. That is not a normal thing you're talking about. Not just going to work around your schedule.
What you say work around, and I want to just to sink in that the studios all know, like the actors, they know when they'll be working.
And they record while other studios are recording. We're not saying anything. You're not saying anything different to me. They are not going to sit up here and say, okay, yeah, no, we'll record at a different time. That's not how that works. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it would be crazy for them to say we'll record it at a different time because they don't make what you're saying is right. It's crazy. It would be ridiculous. What you think you can just say when we'll start recording this movie? I'm telling you, from inception of this new proposed movie that is not a Marvel movie, they'll have so and so in mind. They'll go, yo, we saw a script. We think you would work well with it. When are you free to do it? We plan on filming it next year. And you can say, or 3 years from now, we plan on filming this movie. They'll be, yeah, in 3 years, Marvel, they've given me my schedule, and I know that I'm free during the summer. we can start shooting it in the summer. And they'll say, okay, good. Now we'll start casting. We'll start
Because
looking.
there's no one else on that production who has any scheduling conflicts, and it's only dependent on one person, right?
Everyone on there who could have
no one else
everybody who can have a scheduling
movie.
conflict is not the lead actor, and they are replaceable.
You're being a bit ridiculous.
The guy who holds the lights
You're
up,
being a bit ridiculous.
venue.
I'm talking about other actors. Chill, there are other actors. Other
start
people
with the
with
lead, though.
schedules. It's not
So you
just
would-
one person.
You would start casting with the lead, and then you'd see who else in Hollywood is available. That's not restricting that much.
Once you have an established cast and you start putting everybody's schedules together, you're not going to be making decisions based off of one person's schedule.
Yes, you
That
are.
doesn't make sense.
You-
There are hundreds
you
of people
start with
involved
the
in this
one
shit.
person schedule. You go, I know that this new actor who plays Captain America is going to be free in the summer of year 2029. I am going to cast him first, and every other person will be in accordance to that one guy's schedule, and I will seek for actors and supporting casts and a director who is free during that time.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't sound like a realistic scenario to me, but I'll let you have it. Like it's completely unrealistic, but I will concede so that we can get off stream.
Marcus got a point, dude. Hey, we don't all have to be correct.
Sure don't. Cue to Josh.
Well, that was long, but maybe one of you was right. There were some people in the chat that were agreeing with one, some that were agreeing with the other. What have you? You can go watch Cinema Pals react to, what was it they just did? Another black film, The Wood, Selma. They're gearing up for, all the reactors are gearing up for Black History Month. So go get you a dose of some white reactors watching Black trauma.
They're still doing that?
Yeah, they're gearing up for Black History Month now. They just did Selma.
Gearing up for Black History Month. It's crazy.
Yeah. Selma. The thumbnail for Selma is them crying. Well, Selma's not it ain't a love story.
No, it's not.
So I don't know what they thought they were getting from it. But hey, anyway, you can go check out the Cinema Pals. They're still reacting to all things black. But we'll call that for the night. We do appreciate everybody being here with us. I myself am live tomorrow on my channel for the news and everything else that's going on Friday. I'm sure some things will come out. I like the Cinema Pals too. Reacting to The Wood, reacting to Soul Food and all that, but when you're doing Selma, why are you reacting to Selma? Are we doing Mississippi Burning next? Like, what are we doing over at I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. But hey, that's really another conversation because I just don't know how I feel about that. But hey, anyway, we appreciate all you guys being here. I'm live tomorrow on my channel. Marcus, next time
Live
they can check you.
Sunday. Yeah, check me out on the back of the bus on Sunday around 4:00.
Chill. The next time they can check you.
I'll probably do something tomorrow morning or afternoon.
Fun. And like I said, I'm live tomorrow. So we are back on Thursday with another Pantheon stream. And until then, Josh, take us out.
Hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
I know.